Hey there, welcome back to another episode of the podcast, the Master Random the podcast. Before I go over into sponsorships, I want to plug this in right here and now. If you're listening to this on the Apple Podcasts app, go ahead and leave a rating and review. These ratings and reviews really help the podcast get seen on the charts. And yeah, that'll be super awesome. I wanted to do that right away, right up front, so that you don't forget. Now, sponsorships. This episode is brought to you by Mortuary. They are a small family-owned and operated mortuary that has been serving the local community for over 45 years, providing top-of-the-line funeral and cremation services during a time when it's absolutely needed the most because, let's face it, death is all coming for us. Why not make it absolutely beautiful and the service ace? And through Addis Mortuary, you can find that. So if you're looking for more information on services and plans, contact 477-1311 or visit the mortuary at South Route 4, Sinania. The best way I can explain this is if you're going on Route 4 towards Ordet, southbound, when you pass the gas stations at Sinania and you're going down the hill, at the bottom of the hill on the left-hand side, you'll see a 2-story building that is Addis Mortuary. If you're looking for any kind of services in respect to funeral and cremation, right there, go visit them today or when you need. This episode is also brought to you by Stroll Guam. Go download the Stroll Guam app today in the Apple iTunes, Apple App Store. I always get those mixed up. Or the Google Play Store. And when you do, you'll be downloading the most convenient, affordable, and safest way to get around the island. And when you download it, use the code word random19 and get $10 off your next ride. If you're looking to become a driver or utilize their document delivery services, go to strollguam.com for more information. And now my next guest with an S is Ryan Bustamante and Anton Rosario. Ryan is the founder, CEO, founder of Acoustic Attack. It's a platform that's been available to a lot of Guam musicians since around 2013. So about 5 to 6 years, just allowing musicians to utilize this platform to expose themselves. And I think it's been extremely awesome. I've seen a lot of artists use Acoustic Attack as their stepping stone to pursuing their musical dreams. And Anton Rosario is a musician, and he's also a friend of Ryan's, and I know Anton myself through his brother Carlos. And he's been around the Acoustic Attack since the beginning days of Acoustic Attack. If you go to the early videos, you can see Anton as a youngster. And if you go to the latest campaign, you can see Anton still a youngster, but an older youngster. So our conversation was really awesome. We touched on a lot of aspects, even outside of Acoustic Attack. I don't want to give too much away, but I just want to say Trifecta. That's it. Now I'm going to head you on over to the podcast. Enjoy my conversation with Ryan Bustamante and Anton Rosario on Master Random. Check it out. Not live, but we are here. We are started. Welcome to the show, guys. We're talking about rebranding, and it's one of the, in my opinion, toughest things I've ever gone through, as far as like creatively with like a brainchild, with my brainchild, right? This podcast, and I don't know. I'm hoping to get through it sooner than later. Yeah. You know, there's no introductions, right?
Yeah.
So
it just goes.
we're just going.
Yeah.
Just
No, feel you,
going.
man. Yeah.
Like when you were rebranding Acoustic Attack, I mean, is it, what were the main struggles that you kind of like went through?
Yeah, so the first struggle is always that you're not a designer, right? Like when you don't have a design background and you're trying to create a brand, it's pretty difficult, man. So
and it's hard to like not want to get other people's opinions on it, right? It's like, what do you think about this? Like, no, I don't know about that.
Yeah, and plus I didn't have a background in even like a network of like, I didn't even know a designer personally, or or I did, but not very, like, didn't work closely with them.
Right. So, and back in 2000, when did Acoustic Attack start coming around? 2013, right? The entrepreneurship wasn't so vast, so to speak, right? I mean, the availability of artists or people putting out their services wasn't so available.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's not a lot to build off of, truthfully, right? Like when you're talking about the type of platform that you use. Me personally, I mean, YouTube has been out for a while, but it's like kind of like, you ever seen that photo of the wolf running in front, right? And then the pack's following with the trail that he made, right? So like you have to expect a little bit of friction, right? Like when you're trying to get something moving, so that's kind of what I think it feels like for me.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just really trying to discover what it needs more so, like I'm doing the process, there's momentum building. I'm trying to keep up with it and figure out like what am I supposed to do with this? You know what I mean? Like it's not super clear. Right. I mean, I didn't even have like a music network, other than a few friends,
For sure. So, Anton, you and I are kind of both in the same boat as far as branding. It's like it's more like a reflection, for you, Ryan, it's an all-encompassing like brand, but this is like the branding of music now, or the branding of doing a podcast is sort of like, maybe that's why I'm having such a hard time with it, is because it's a direct reflection of me. Yeah. Like, do you have trouble, at least now that you're starting to like budge your we'll get to that. Budge your music, your music career, so to speak. Are you having trouble sort of branding yourself in that way?
Yeah, actually, man, I haven't even like pulled the trigger on any ideas that I've come up with. Yeah. I've also thought like, man, is my face supposed to be, especially for a musician, Me but too. It's more of like, man, I would rather.
You don't want to be too conceited, right? Like, hey, wow, why is this guy putting his face on it?
Yeah, and then like, let's say you come up with like more of like a symbol, like Acoustic Attack, then I feel like it could be more general. Or
but what you chose, man, it felt like it was perfect. Yeah, right? I mean, compared to the first one, the first one was more that circular with the actual guitar, but now it's with the bolt and
just the head
right.
Yeah, like one thing I got from Ryan with, I guess, like him rebranding his whole logo is like, maybe like less is more, like take out all the distractions and just get right down to what it's actually supposed to be, which is hard too, because you don't know exactly what it's supposed to be. But
and then I think the battle that we sort of go through is like, is it too generic, or does it not represent, and it's like, fuck. I feel like it's just the hardest. Hardest.
Yeah, I think also too, when you really look deep of why you're doing something, that should have a pretty, like, an influence on the end look, right? Because if you're trying to be this new program that's trying to build momentum and break barriers, then you do want to look bold and strong and simple, right? And try to. Truthfully, I did have to kind of find that in myself, because you cannot represent something if you're not it, like authenticity, you cannot fake it, you know? So just through my process of personal growth is kind of like, you can really see it through the branding, through the videography, like everything that you see that's tangibly on the screen. That's kind of what I went through, that's like my evolution, you know what I mean? Like that's literally my evolution. It's interesting to watch grow.
Yeah, one of my friends that I've had on the podcast, Peter Kimball, he said, he goes, dude, why are you waiting for it to be perfect? If you're gonna wait for it to be perfect, you're never gonna never gonna release it, or you're never gonna do it.
Yeah,
just put it out there.
Yeah.
Let it evolve on its own.
Yeah.
You know, get feedback.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the negative feedback. And
I had a lot of good times with that guy, bro. We
Yeah.
worked with each other at TPI as
right.
videographers.
That's
for
right. That's
a
right.
few years, like maybe almost 2 years. And you know, we work pretty close, and we have very different styles,
He's very
different
passionate
networks.
guy
I
too,
think
right?
I think our experience together was really good for both of us, you know, because we both had our different come ups, and then we also both have our different preferences.
Is that where you got into the videography, like working with TPI, or is that something that came before?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess if you really were to be like, where was the first video I actually shot to intend to shoot something,
Right.
was when I was living in Okinawa in 2009, maybe. And I don't know if I'm supposed to disclose this, but we were able to go onto this place, right? I don't want to suck too much details about it, but
And this place was.
but it's basically part of the base, but on the weekends it's completely empty because it's only a work site. But the hills are perfectly paved roads. So we used to just go in and
Longboard.
yeah. So what happened
My
was,
favorite pastime.
yeah, dude, my friend owned a Sony Cybershot, you know, and I was just like, can I or she was selling it, I bought it at like $100.
Yeah, the little square ones.
Yeah, and I drove a 4Runner. My friend drove, you know, another 4Runner, and we were actually standing outside the sunroof filming. And then when I, like, years later, bro, like maybe 2010, 2011, I found the footage, and then my laptop had a default like computer movie editor.
Yeah.
And I just started fucking around, and then it was like, you know, bro, in my mind it was fucking badass, right? And then when you look back, it's like, what the fuck was that? You know? But that's where I started, bro. And then like after that, I made like a little iPhone 3G video at Anton's house, and then I put Incubus in the back, right, in the background to like.
Oh, that was
it
was a birthday.
Yeah, it was a party.
Have you guys always known each other?
So,
because I only met Ryan. And I was thinking about that today. I was like, fuck, when did I first meet Ryan? And it was in surf.
Yeah,
that's where we always used to see you, and that's only the only way I knew Ryan.
Yeah,
you know, was
just
surf.
through the Bow Basin.
Yeah, and then Anton and you, it's through Carlos, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, you guys went to school with my brother.
Right.
I feel like that's where most of my network comes from, is just through my brother, which, you know, I'm super blessed. Like that he was the athlete that I'm not an athlete, and then he played music, and then slowly went into music.
Fighter and a lover now.
Yeah. But I first met Ryan when UA first opened.
Okay.
I think that's when he first came back from Japan.
Yeah, so UA is Universal, short for Universal Alliance.
They were over in the
Paradise.
Paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then they moved
first.
to a console bar, right?
So
later.
Paradise Fitness was Louis Regis, John Tuck, and then, you know, they were teaching there.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's when I kind of started, and we pretty much started within like the same probably season, you know, like the same like 3 months apart for something like that.
Yeah,
something like that. So,
but I was fresh. Like I trained like maybe a week. Like this was like high school just for fun.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah, but like with my friends, same guys that I train with like now, and then started training seriously in 2010, and that was, I think, that's when you first started too, or like a few months after.
yeah. And you know, we just hung out a lot, dude, just through like mutual friends plus jiu-jitsu, you know. So
our mutual friends were from jiu-jitsu.
So and you know, I think when we just kind of vibe, you know, on the mat, and it just translates in everything else we do. And I mean, it's just a good friend.
Yeah, I only remember Anton just being. I was telling before we got on the mic, I was like, it's only music. Is that I know Anton?
Yeah.
Like, Carlos brought you around. And we're like, who's this guy? Like, oh, it's Silos' brother.
Yeah.
Like, wait, he jams?
Yeah.
Like, you jam all night long.
Yeah, I remember. I think I remember that night.
Jukebox, bro.
It was. I think the first time like I met like all of my brother's friends and really played music was his birthday at our house in the backyard. But then also there was, I think, a party for Tony at Pago Bay at the Muñez.
Yeah.
And that's when I jammed too. Yeah.
And it was a big one.
Yeah,
because it was around Christmas.
Yeah, it was you guys' Christmas party. You guys still celebrate that?
Right,
yeah. You guys did a whole exchange gift and everything. Shoot.
Before everyone came.
Yeah. It was big.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's cool the way I guess things now evolve, right? You started off with a little cyber shot. I remember when me and Joe would always hang out and be and he would carry around this little fucking camera, dude, and then would throw it on, and it's this super grainy picture and stuff. And now you can just shoot from the iPhone, and it's super clear.
Yeah.
And now you've evolved this sort of show that people can attach themselves to, right? And I remember us sitting outside AJ's house.
Yeah.
Right.
You tell that story, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So me and Ryan were sitting outside AJ's house, and
so AJ's, just to give context, right? Like AJ lives in Ganya Heights,
right?
But
he's from the Ville.
AJ and I were going to college regularly, so like we would always just run into each other, in between classes and stuff.
Right.
Like that.
So, and I would always go to AJ's house after work, and we were just waiting. We were both waiting for AJ for some reason, like always, right?
Or we were outside and he, went inside.
Yeah. And he goes, "Hey, man, I have this idea. I wanted to run it by you." I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" He's like, "I want to record people like playing music and stuff." I was like, "Dude, that sounds awesome." Like, I don't think anyone's doing that right now.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it would be all the things that you've done, from the first video to that live show, and then sort of that reboot. And never would I thought it would turn out that way for you. What did you envision it when I guess you were talking to me about it and trying to figure out, because you were trying to figure out what kind of guitar to get. Like, should I get this Martin guitar? Yeah, bro, I remember all that shit, dude.
Yeah, investments, right?
Yeah.
Fuck, should I pay for this shit? Fuck.
I was like, all right, if you want a Martin guitar, it's like very muddy, deep sound. You know? If you want a Taylor, it's gonna be like a super.
I guess
right?
to keep it really simple, bro. Like, I went through like a little punk phase too, right? And I like all kinds of music, but when I was in my punk phase, I used to always like to find their acoustic versions. That I think that's a big part of why like I've always been really attracted to that style of music, right? You're listening to the used like full on rocked out, and then they strip it down. It's I don't know, man. There's something with that honesty, right?
Yeah.
So it's just something I'm really gravitating towards, and it kind of works out too that it's a reflection, like I just like simplicity in my, I try to translate that in my production, like simplicity, right? Like it doesn't have to be too flashy. It just has to look good,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
clean fundamentals.
I mean, even the first steps, you use like a couple cameras, and it was.
My dad had a T1i, Canon T1i,
Yeah.
1i. You couldn't. I don't even think you could do manual for the video. It's just automatic exposure, and I just recorded Chris Thomas,
Dude.
remember we did like a little docu series, just super run and gun, super just trying it out, and
just say something.
Yeah.
Just say something. Check it out. Right?
Yeah, dude. And I just kept fucking with it, bro. Like I think what really draws me to it is that how much ability and power you have to influence, and how much good you can give to the world, like how much you can contribute, right? Like media is so powerful, bro. Sure. So if you use it in a way to mold your surroundings, right? Like by you showing the love, it'll eventually multiply, and people will start to feel the same way and support it, So that's the kind of approach I try to take with it.
Yeah, and I feel like when people were starting to see it, it was something fresh. It was something new. It's like, oh shit, people are recording live acoustically, right? And you had a couple of those young girls.
Yeah,
they really had really good harmonies.
Paige and Serena and Paige.
Yeah,
and it's not even about like nobody was doing it, because YouTube, like everybody was doing it.
Right.
It's just,
Mahogany Sessions.
Yeah,
that I brought
that's
up
a big
you.
inspiration.
Yeah,
that was a big inspiration. Mo Boogie was a huge inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really just our story in that version, right?
Yeah, you know what I felt like you did too, unknowingly, is that you help people come out of the woodworks. People you wouldn't expect to play music or see out at the bars in the music circuit. Like, you're giving them an opportunity or a platform to present themselves, dude. And and it was cool the way people really grasped onto it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Tua ever played a single gig in his life before he went on Acoustic Attack.
Yeah,
it's the same.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's the same as me too. I never played, except for like fundraisers. I never really played anywhere until Acoustic Attack, or at least like stage wise.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because it's a tough thing to put yourself out there, and purposefully, it's not an easy thing,
bro. But it's fun, bro. You know, it's really fun to do, man. It's stressful as hell, but it's the type of people that we're constantly working with, you know, like, you know, it's really good to be around, and it's really good to put towards, you know, put efforts together towards something bigger.
Yeah, I mean, how did you know it was something you wanted to put your time into?
It's one of those things where I had a good mix of why I was doing it, right? Like one, I like the music. Two, I'm just have around friends that can do it, and I'm, you know, building that network. And, you know, the third factor that kept me tugging through was I was beginning my videography experience, right? So I really just wanted to keep doing it over and over and over, and just like refining that. So a lot of different elements were involved in staying busy with Acoustic Attack, right? And like, it's hard to say that I went with intent to take it somewhere, you know. I just did it really hard for really long, you know what I mean, and did it my best, right? And I wasn't really sure what I was aiming at, truthfully, right? I was just kind of, it's growing, just keep pushing it, just keep working, and then as people interact and, you know, as people ask questions, it kind of helps me to figure out like what role does Acoustic Attack play. That was really what the end of last year is what we spent kind of reflecting on, like what's the purpose, you know?
Yeah, because I remember it kind of just disappeared for a little bit, and in my head I was like, damn, did Ryan just did he give up on it? You know, did he drop it?
It's I feel like it's just in phases where I'm here to grow it when things are right, and I don't feel any pressure that it has to. I mean, of course that would be great, you know, but being self-funded and also just trying to build a formula that's not built, I don't feel like I need to rush it, you know. I just need to keep building the process and refining it and making it more efficient. And
for sure,
and I think if I just make it efficient and consistent, then it'll just go wherever it needs to go. You know.
Do you plan on taking over when he splits?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
Yeah. Well, one, I think it's better to just.
Hey, can you just drop his mic a little bit? Yeah.
I think I should I really focus on like launching my music, and then maybe when I reach some stability, there'll be some time to take over another music aspect. But I told him, like, do whatever you want to do. If you're out there and you want to try making it work, I'll help you try to make it work.
I mean,
it's gonna be tough though, right? I mean, me and Tony were doing the pod. He was helping me with the podcast from Hawaii, you know. So and all the legworks here, all the digital stuff, technical stuff is out in the States, and the relationship becomes a little tangled, you know, because now it's like, okay, we need to make moves, but you know, we also need to make sure this is a joint decision. We need to make sure that everyone's on board with this, right? And you can, when you're on the ground, you're like, all right, dude, I can see the sun setting, you know.
Well, you know, it's a really, that's a big part of why throughout the revamp, I guess you could call it, was really trying to understand how to simplify it even more and make it even better. You know, so like I'm trying to build the style of videography and, you know, like branding where the production is simple, so we can keep volume high and quality high. You know, so that's kind of the transition that we went through specifically because of that. You know, because I don't know how and where I'm going to be put with this. So like I need to be able to kind of just pick up and go, right? So that was a big piece of what we did, you know, just kind of conceptualizing like, why are we going to shoot it like that? You know? And should we record before or should we do it live, you know? And it's like I want aesthetic because I want people to watch it, you know, and
well, the power of playback too.
Yeah,
like we wanted the audio to be controlled to where people would play it on the radio, like at a good quality playback.
I see, without the fucking wind blowing.
Right, because we can get a lot of great scenery here. You're just not gonna get a lot of great sound, right? Because you can get some beautiful spots, and then a plane will fly by, and it's nonstop, right? So how can you still capture that, meet the demand to give a streamable audio quality, and then relieve the pressure from the artist of having to perform perfectly?
And it's basically a music video, right?
Basically, I mean, that's the format, right? Is it's just really clean, simple, live performance music video, you know, and just it's meant to keep us moving. It's meant to show scenery, and it's meant to relieve the pressure from the artist so they can perform, like, you know, just visually perform.
Did you have a tough time matching the sound?
For my like particular song, since it's just guitar and me, it wasn't really that hard. But there was some artists though where like say they had a crazy guitar riff that they had to follow, like that probably got hard unless you played it over and over and over. Like the John Dank, I think, did a really clean job, like with solos, bass, all that stuff.
The John T super clean.
The drums though too. The drums could be like, you know, for video, like to the sound it might be like a little off, but like so far like everyone did super good.
It looked good.
Videos,
the production quality was real good, and you were able, like you said, to put yourself in these different scenic backgrounds now, instead of being in a room and tied up in front of lights.
And it's also, like I said, bro, it's a reflection for me, right? Like, truthfully, I love the video aspect, right? I love watching it, and it increases the experience. But I also really like clean acoustic sound, right? Because sometimes you could get the live stuff and it's just not like.
But I guess from I guess a musician's point of view is even the acoustics in the room. Say you record it live in a room, depending on the kind of room you're in, maybe like a parking garage, right? There's some musicians who would want to play with those acoustics and.
So I guess this is where we're talking about branding, right? Like this is a specifically like branding, dude. So I feel like that format is our default format, right? That's what we do to keep volume.
Hey, bro,
high.
just stand right over there and play that, and I'll just stand here.
But you know, it's obviously it's a little bit more than that. But I mean, for the most part, it's that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make your job so basic. So sorry, bro.
Don't you just sing in the mic? So
stand over there.
So it's
bro.
crazy. It's like they grind in the studio, and then after the grinding in the studio is done, we like each artist has like one day or like a shoot day. And then it's just like over and over.
So did you find difficulties in I guess were the artists picky of the kind of sound that they were wanting to put out?
They had full control. Full control. We just used RJ Pereira to be the main producer. So, you know, go work with the producer, and you know, like I'm getting the promotion ready. I believe in you guys. If you have any questions, I can recommend or, you know, give you my opinion. But I let those guys do what they want to do.
For sure.
Yeah, you know, like I don't feel like I have to unless they want.
Insert yourself into their artistic.
I just like being around it, bro. Like a lot of times I'm just sitting around and I just like I kind of soak it in and try to understand it. For me.
And you've been involved with outside projects too, right? I mean, outside Acoustic Attack, as far as like shooting other music videos and movie. Have you shot any movie?
I mean, you know, I worked a lot with James Davis on short films, you know, just as like building experience and trying things out and learning, and just really more just being like a little, you know, apprentice and just trying to learn through experience and work.
Yeah, dude, one of the best music videos I've seen. Are we allowed to bring it up? A Long Drive Home, their music video. That was awesome, dude. I mean, and that was a collaborative effort with a bunch of you guys.
So Brian, there's a little bit of a longer story, and I don't want to like tell it the wrong way, but the long story short, Brian's fiance Marissa kind of recommended to Brian, like, dude, I like this song, can you shoot a music video for it? So
I think me and Brian were talking about it on his episode, You know, it's like,
Oh,
dude, the
cool.
whole eye thing, you know,
Yeah.
like, dude, that was fucking
Yeah.
badass, bro.
Yeah, it's all him, man. I mean, like I was there as a producer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like whatever I could do, like production wise, if he needed materials or tools, he could use anything I wanted. And he kind of just, I gave him the ability to just think about story and shooting, and then I just took care of everything else for him, you know, and made it convenient, and he killed it, bro. So
Dude,
yeah, killed it.
We'll
Man.
play like the first like minute.
Yeah.
Matt, you need me to turn on the TV?
Yeah,
Dude,
so
man.
yeah, that was a great experience, man. When after that production, like Brian and Jace and I, we all, you know, we got pretty close, and we kind of understood everybody's mission, you know.
Right.
So
Can skip it. That's Chase Weir's company,
yeah,
Rockstar.
Dude, his film has been super good,
yes,
dude. His
bro.
filming is awesome.
For real. Just drop the level just a little.
yeah, and the actors did good, man. I think they did great.
Yeah, they did.
They looked great too.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Thanks.
Ashley.
Jess. Hi.
Guam, bro. I mean, dude, it's so awesome. Just production value, right? I think that's something that over these last like 5 or 6 years is something that I've been really noticing, just like exponentially rising, and people are realizing their talents all the way to, I mean, both you guys do photography now, right? And fucked with video, you know, you play music, you fuck with music, right? And you're directly in the hands and in the mix of these production values, bro, and it's so awesome.
Yeah, bro, I'm grateful every day.
Eye shot? I was like, bro, Brian, what's up with the eye shot, bro?
Yeah, Brian did a great job.
Yeah, you can turn it down. Just keep on there.
Man, dude, like the whole rise of like media too.
On my phone.
Yeah,
That's the reason why like I graduated with mass media, just because like I really love like BTS, like what it takes to make shots, you know.
Yeah,
Like, I really like it.
just creating, the process of creating is really what is the funnest part.
So
know?
you were involved with like setting up,
like you know, like
the
Brian
directing.
right? So just more like, you know, production. You can even say like cinematography, just input, bro. Like there's not, me and him didn't really have roles, you know. It's just we're there, we both, whatever you need help with, I give my opinion. That's really how we just rock it.
right? Matt, have you seen this music video?
So yeah, it's really good.
Bro.
I do want to say I did not participate in this video. I don't want to take credit where I wasn't involved. But yeah, dude, if I had, dude,
How many views does
great
this thing have?
experience.
What are we looking at here? 20,000 views.
20K. Good job, boys.
Yeah, man.
Oh, going back to the branding though, like one thing that I was telling Ryan about like with Acoustic Attack is like, bro, you gotta treat it like a high production broadcast type of feel. So I was like, especially with the playback, I was like, you got to make audio just as crisp as the video, which results in views, because most people that are, or the views piling up is from going on radio, from people just listening to it, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And
The
they sort
video's
of want to
nice.
hear. They want to hear that the same thing that they're why they're watching or listening to on the radio. And how does that work though? You know, I mean, you're obviously not looking to get anything out of, you know, like, how do I say this without making it sound so like,
Say it.
I'm just trying to like, because they own the rights to the songs, right? I mean, you're obviously not gonna make any like money with the radios playing it or
So basically everything you do can, once you release it, it's all taken care of, right? If you do it through certain distribution
I think we
services. But
Game of Thrones, hell yeah, dude.
so I mean, when it comes, there's a lot of different sides to Acoustic Attack, you know, and this is really just more of a production from a passion project production, you know, and a big part of this one is is Jace, the bassist, is really the financer of the band, you know. So he puts it together. He puts the productions together. He helps organize. He's there early. That's a big piece of what makes it work, you know. So yeah, what we're doing is just giving them the opportunity to grow into something that they'll be in demand for.
For sure,
right?
For sure. Yeah, dude. I mean, you're laying the foundation for what the future of the video arts, at least, and parts of the music and people that Acoustic Attack has supported. It's laying that foundation of people, just like I said, wanting to put themselves out there now. Right? How much more do you want to put yourself out there now, Anton? Now that you've been on, you can kill it, dude. Thanks.
I'm just getting stuck like watching it.
Shut up, Brandon. You're so loud.
Anton's not even looking at me anymore.
Watching Jose, dude. But yeah, totally though, dude. Like I was telling him too, like the potential of the whole channel just makes me want to like just jump right back into it, dude. Where like what you were saying about
can you just bring the microphone closer to you so you're not leaning in?
So like you were talking about Pete Kimball saying just do it, right? You can't have it perfect. So that's like this year where it's like I rather just do it and just put it out there and get the feedback. More like you ever heard that done's better than perfect type, right? So that's this year. It's like I just want to put stuff out there or put my stuff out there, because if I don't, then it's never gonna go.
And it's gotta be pretty encouraging to like see other artists like really putting themselves out there. Martin Honor has a new song, a couple new songs. Bro.
He's got a great sound.
That guy's fucking impressive.
Man, have you guys heard his
Chris
his
Boomer's
cover?
album too?
Yeah, Martin Honor's cover of No Woman No Cry that was on Live Local Fridays. Dude,
Yeah,
really good, dude. I like his
He's a
soul style.
Yeah, and you know, and I think I was on the first Live Local Fridays, one of the first couple shows back in 2014.
Nice.
And I feel like, you know, you help sort of spark that idea, like to just bring people out and give people an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it's
platform, man.
Yeah, like I said, bro,
it wasn't available before.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's not an original idea, but it's just making our own version of it.
For sure.
You know, so like everybody puts music out on YouTube. You know, it's just we're just trying to tell our story, right? So
for sure.
And I'm happy that
same with the podcast, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's not an original idea, but it's people. It's giving people opportunity to tell their story or share something or give an idea. I don't know.
Yeah, you're just giving, you know, giving to the community by having this around, right? So it's just your contribution, right? That's kind of how I view Acoustic Attack.
God, all of our generation, we're just gonna be contributors. We're not gonna reap off of any.
We're just here to give. Yeah. Take it all.
Take it all, future. We're laying the foundation.
For
real. What is that? Putting Guam on the map.
Yeah.
Whoa. People get sensitive about that. Careful. Let's careful about that.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, dude. I mean, just progression in itself, and taking things that you see out in the States and scaling it down and bringing it here is all a part of that progression, right? And the fact that we can do it here, right before we got on and started talking, I mentioned something about just Guam being just it's an opportunistic place.
Yeah. I tell this to Ryan too, like I just feel like everyone's like so up to date with like how the States is through media, but Guam's still young, like we're still developing, like there's still things that are gonna happen and it's gonna like just take time, but I feel like we're 10 years behind, but we know the future a little bit, you know, and we know what to expect, what we want, you know.
Yeah, I'm really gonna watch closely, especially with recreational cannabis, because
like that too.
Yeah, like I just, you know, I kind of just want to take a look from the outside and just watch it, like
for sure.
Pay attention, you know, don't make any judgments, but just kind of watch how the community, what happens, you know.
Yeah.
We'll see, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you're living in the glass ball, right? It's a little different from when you're watching outside the glass ball.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I'm really curious just to watch because I'm optimistic, you know. If money is managed well, then there should be no reason, you know.
Yeah.
If revenues come in and
Okay, my personal opinion on this. I don't think it should have been signed right away. I think our time was coming. I feel like it was a little rushed. I feel like there could have been a little bit more studies or just added to the bill. Me and Tony broke down the bill with Matt for 2 hours almost, right? And that's the conclusion I came up with. And I was talking to someone today, and they actually said, dude, if we didn't do it now, we probably would never do it. And I was like, oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I feel like society thinks that that's it. The job's done. Yeah. Marijuana is legal and stuff like that.
But what's
literally the work is just beginning for them.
Yeah.
As far as like getting the rules and regs straightened out on the local level, and then dealing with the federal level. I think someone already sued the government just today, filed a lawsuit against the government for passing the bill.
Ooh.
And so it's gonna be very, very, very interesting.
Right.
So with it signed, does that mean like someone could just go, like you could just go grow it in your backyard?
You can now grow in your backyard. You can grow up to 6 plants, 3 mature, and it's legal as long as you're over 21.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it can't be shown. It has to be like indoor or inside in a locked area, or maybe
not even like a garden.
Maybe a greenhouse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Can't just be in the front yard. Again, right by the door, you just water
it. Outside with the hose.
Yeah. Next to the pepper plants, right?
Hey, dude, that's my grandma, bro. Just go outside and just.
So it's very interesting, and I guess in that respect, sure, it's good because now people can grow their own. But if we're expecting for it to be an industry next year, highly doubtful. Yeah, for me, it's highly doubtful, and I'm no expert, so don't believe me. Do not believe me.
What is your opinion about like the whole tourism like factor?
I think it could be. I think there's a new generation of Asians growing up and exposed to the fact that marijuana is around. It's just like us and social issues in the United States. If it wasn't for media, we wouldn't know about all the social issues in the United States, and maybe certain things here on Guam wouldn't fly, right? Maybe you still be spanking kids.
Yeah.
Right. But it's because we're so exposed to the fact that the world is changing around us, and the Asian countries do realize the world is changing too. I think the younger generations would be open. We shouldn't worry about Guam being a family-friendly place. It's always going to be a family-friendly place. And before people come here, they're not like reading up on the laws.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, it's kind of like, oh, marijuana's legal there? Well, I didn't run into anyone else there. No?
Yeah.
So, I think it's a matter of opinion.
Yeah.
I think the older generations will always be pessimistic about it. I think I feel like it was just too soon. I'm not against it. It's the fact that what they passed, I felt like wasn't good enough.
Right.
It could have been written better.
Right.
Sorry, whoever wrote it.
Yeah.
But, or things could have been added. Maybe the government could have benefited off of taxes more. Tax cultivator, because in California, they're taxing the cultivator, they're taxing the manufacturer, and the retailer. And that's all going to the government. Right? For here, it's just one tax, one excise tax between the cultivator and the retailer. So
interesting.
Yeah. It's just, it's just things. And if we didn't go through that bill like that, I probably wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
Because who reads the bills?
Yeah.
No, nobody.
What do you think it's gonna evolve into? I think it's gonna follow the beer culture, where in a sense where maybe the island might have one or two big dispensary lines, but then I feel like it's gonna open up a market of craft marijuana, right? I mean, like there'll be enough business for it to go around for everybody, right? Like just own a certain piece of the market and be a certain certain craft.
For that industry to build, though, man, you need acres of marijuana to grow here, right? And you need constant marijuana to be circulated throughout the island. It's not like you're gonna bring it here. You know, how are they gonna regulate products being brought here and being sold retail?
Yeah.
Right. And is that something that they're going to be concerned about? Because sure, you think all these good strains of marijuana are being grown at Uncle Joe's house? No way. That's part of that 14 million tons that's being grown in California, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
don't believe me. I'm no expert. I just kind of like my don't have the word for it. It's not
Opinion?
part of my my vocabulary. But
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting. It's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna raise crime. You know, I don't think all the bad things that all the older generation thinks. You know, because it's been a positive thing in some sense in the States.
Do you feel like it'd be do you think like the access of marijuana will decrease the criminal activity and harder drugs?
No, because ICE will always be around. And so it sucks. It sucks to say that, but it will always be around. You know, and you think the ICE epidemic went down in California? No, just because weed became legal, the ICE heads weren't like, oh, it's illegal. Shoot, let's go back to weed.
Well, what do you think about in generations down the line where those ICE users like start to decrease because the younger generation is just like, well, just stick to weed?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a possible change.
Right.
That's a generation from now,
Yes,
though, right?
more probably.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
Yeah, it's a social change.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool, and that's why I guess like I'm really afraid to leave here. Like I'm ready. I've been here going on 10 years since I moved back from the States, and part of me is ready to go, but part of me also is like, fuck, there's something happening.
Yeah.
You know, like
Makes you curious of what's gonna grow.
Yeah,
you know what's
dude.
gonna happen.
It's
I feel you.
and I'm sure you're thinking about that with your last month here. It's like, damn, dude, am I gonna miss it? Like, how much am I gonna miss it?
Right.
And but I've been saying there's something going on here since 2015, right? And it's not happening overnight, but you can like see it every year. There's like something new, somebody doing a little bit something different, right? A lot more people are like, I met somebody. A coworker I have, she has a pet, like a pet store, you know, and it's like, damn, dude, people are like doing stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know? It's
like more entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and taking a chance on themselves. And that's what I was saying. Like Guam it seems like that opportunistic place.
Yeah.
And if we're not taking advantage of it, guess who's going to take advantage of it? People from foreigners.
Yeah.
Whether it be a super rich foreign Chinese billionaire, or it'll be some dude named Todd from fucking Orange County, California, who flew here.
I think it's already happening with property, dude.
Yeah, but we're living in a globalized economy.
Right.
That's what I mean. Accept it, bro. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
You know, like you have to think on that level, right, of integration.
Yeah.
Everything's global now, man.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
But I feel like we have a true export of talent. A very
Significant.
dense, significant export of talent, and we're losing him because people still believe that there's no opportunity here. And I've been saying since I first started this and talking to the musicians on this podcast, like, dude, how come you guys aren't like going to Japan or going to the Philippines?
Yeah.
And look at, we have two bands going to Japan,
Local Deluxe and Fatso.
Yeah, and I think late last year, two other
Surrender the
bands,
Thief.
they went to Japan also, right? And it's like we can insert ourselves into those markets because the Eastern market is growing just as big as the Western market.
Yeah,
and we have the opportunity to take hold of both.
Yeah.
Being
I agree, man.
Western,
I agree wholeheartedly.
territory.
Yeah, I also feel too like the Eastern cultures are a little bit influenced by the Western cultures, at least like music
For sure.
industry, right? So
subculture wise.
Yeah, so I feel if
that's why marijuana. I mean, I think young people come here and smoke it.
yeah,
You know what I mean,
Yeah.
So I feel like if
young Asian.
if the artists are
Yeah.
able to capture the West Coast audience, I think, you know, they'll potentially in turn get the favorability for the East Coast, you know,
Right.
the East side, the Asian market. But, you know, I don't know. I just like, I try to predict, right? Like I do my best, and I try to lead it in the direction that I know that makes sense. You know?
What I've told someone, I said, a good start to starting to control, at least on the video side of things, is start charging people who have footage here on Guam who is not from here. So if you're like a Korean dude who does music videos and you come here to come get some bird shots and cliff shots and scenic shots on the beach, we should be charging you for that. You know, Guam should be getting some sort of like tax.
But what about all the travelers and tourism that come here and they do all their like vacation videos and stuff like
You
that?
have some dude scouring the internet of Guam. Like, that's Guam. That's a professional production. We gotta get our hands on this. You know, we then send them a letter. I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
Send
I don't think
a letter and be like, hey, guess what?
Yeah.
We gotta charge you for this.
Yeah.
You know, Guam is copyrighted. Yep, every part of it.
We take PayPal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think it's a delicate balance, because if you're trying to give your music to the world and you want people to start listening to it, I think you cannot limit ways for them to get it. And I believe in that philosophy. I heard it from, I was watching Hoodie Allen interview, and he made sense. He's like, dude, if you guys like it, get it. I don't care, pirate it, just as long as you share it, because it makes sense, right? Like I'm doing my best to build a revenue model around Acoustic Attack, but I also believe that we can't limit the access to it. It's counterintuitive, like you cannot. It's really hard to find ways to make people pay for it when really we want them to listen to it. You know what I mean? Like we don't want to restrict it and give you another step to get past to listen to it. You know, which is we're not in that phase, right? We're kind of in this growth phase, so it's. And I think long term, that's, if you follow that mindset, I feel like that will take you to the long term. So,
Right.
I mean, that's what I believe. I mean, I'm doing my best to build with that philosophy in mind. Still being able to figure out a business model that can compromise between both. So that's the fun part, is like trying to unlock, like, how does the revenue stream work in this damn fucking industry?
And dude, that's the problem that every single person is. Where like,
business, right? Yeah.
There's nothing to protect me. There's no guild, to join.
Yeah.
There's no government backing. How are we supposed to make money off of this?
Yeah.
And you can ask musicians from all the way back in the 70s. They're still trying to figure it out. I feel like still playing 5 nights a week plus brunch. So it's like. I think the next decade or two, that will all be solved. The government will maybe figure out its shit, how to support its population in order to help promote. How many movies are supported by the government of Korea or the state of Georgia, right? And for here, it's everyone. It's like, hey, bro, I just brought whoever I can. This is my cousin, my uncle, that was my niece. And everyone's doing something different, and it's and even for this, man, I mean, I asked Matt, and before it was just Matt, it was Matt and Brian. And it's like, hey, dude, I mean, I don't really have anything to pay you guys, but
just hang out.
Come hang out, and can you just like press these buttons and like figure it out, and at the same time, like I have to make sure like Matt's still enjoying himself.
Hey, thanks, Matt.
No worries.
Trying to include him more into the conversation. Slowly.
Hey, Matt, you all right over there? You feel all right?
Good.
He says more words every podcast.
Should just have a mic over there for him.
Oh, he does.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah, he got his own.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna sing later?
Yeah, dude. It's but like I said, dude, I feel like we're the contributors. We're laying the foundation for what a lot of people are gonna build off of, in the music side, in the video side, and I guess in the podcast side, right? And just in the digital world, and not just us three, but every single person who's a part of it, who chooses to be a part of it. And that's the thing about Guam that people don't understand. You're like, you have to really choose to want to do it. It's easy to be lazy.
Yeah.
It's easy to complain. It's easy to shit on someone who's trying to do something and they suck.
Yeah.
You know, but they don't know that if they keep on doing it, they'll eventually get better, and you'll have nothing to talk about. You'll still be trying to talk shit or be a Debbie Downer, right?
Yeah. I know what you mean. For real.
They're everywhere.
Dude, I mean, I don't know if you guys like go on Twitter or like.
I don't pay it to. I mean, you know, bro. Like if
Twitter
trolling.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say, and then I'll fucking.
Yeah. No, I mean, I see it. I see what happens, and you know, I just don't make it way too much on my day to day. Like I just recognize it, and I don't really make it bother me. You know what I'm saying?
They should call Twitter Trigger. For reals, dude.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's like my first experience when 1991 came out. There was like this whole like Twitter.
I remember 1991.
There's this whole Twitter thing about like people like talking crap about our band. Dude, it was funny.
Yeah, bro. It's like people get triggered. Like people can tweet one thing, and the whole Guam Twitter is like, "Oh shit, up in arms, up in arms." I think the last one was, if you choose not to leave Guam, you're not trying to do better for yourself.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, and people were just fucking tearing this girl fucking.
Yeah, it's just a matter of perspective, bro. Nobody's wrong, nobody's right. It's just everybody got your opinion. You either agree or you don't, man.
Yeah, and it's really what are you doing with yourself?
I got a lot more. You know, I'm not gonna waste my time trying to figure out why she said that. Like, I don't give a fuck. You know. Like,
were you ever worried about negative feedback? How do you guys handle negative feedback?
I mean, man, truthfully, bro, like I'm so transparent.
Yeah.
Like I don't really give a fuck, bro. Like I tell it as it is, and there's not really much to hide. So, you know, it's I don't know what else to say, bro. You know?
How about you?
I don't know, man. I guess coming from who I was before, it probably would have bothered me, but now it's like, dude, it doesn't matter what you say, I'm still gonna do it. Right. You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like like, you know, trying to like tell a kid like, oh, don't do that, and they just do it anyways, you know. I'm trying to like keep that mentality where it's like,
you know, I just think the lesser you entertain it, the lesser it exists, I guess.
Right.
You know, like it only exists if you acknowledge it and you keep trying to figure it out and you keep trying to, you know, like what's the purpose of back and forth? Like, I'm not trying to convince you something that you already know, man. Like, not, you know, be who you want to be, man. Yeah. If you dig what I do, thank you. I appreciate you. Follow, you know.
Yeah.
If I dig what you do, I'll follow you, man. Straight up. It's really that simple. So if you don't like what I do, then just don't tune in, you know, or just like we don't have to hang out, you know.
Do your own shit.
Yeah, it's really that simple, bro. Like I'm here just to grow and work with people that want to work with me.
Yeah, and I think we all grew up with the mentality is if one person's doing it, you're either a biter, right?
Yeah,
you're a biter, bro, or what's the other one? Oh my gosh, that's the only one that's coming to mind. Just being a biter, or you know, it's like, oh, dude, they're already doing that. You didn't even ask them if you can do it.
Yeah.
Well, like, why the fuck do we need permission?
Exactly.
I don't even know this person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you know, the purpose is so that the more can be around. You know, like the intent of Acoustic Attack is not to, you know,
be the
created.
only one.
Yeah. You know, like that's not the purpose of it. Like, if anything, the more places that an artist can get on, Acoustic Attack or any other, is better for everybody.
Right.
You know? So it's actually encouraged, bro. And if you don't have that kind of vision, then man, I feel sorry that you're very close-minded. But
someone tries to do it like, oh yeah, that's that thing that Ryan's doing, right?
Yeah. Like man, dude, don't give me credit for creating a program that's hundreds of others, you know?
I mean, dude, even with podcasting, bro, you know, and people try to get my blessing. I'm like, why do you need my blessing, bro?
Well, you know, I do.
I'm not the inventor. You know?
Yeah.
Podcast.
I guess that's just.
I guess I understand, right?
Yeah.
But that's just Guam. You feel like you have to do it,
Yeah.
but I tell people, I was like, dude, the more people that do it, the community grows,
Right.
right? I mean, it's this mentality of competition on Guam, dude. It's like it's fucking crazy. It's like, oh, dude, we're gonna be the best, and we're gonna be the only ones who's doing it the best, and no one else is gonna be like us.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
It's good to have that tenacity too, but you know, at a certain level.
right. When you're trying to represent on a global scale,
Yeah.
right, you would want to sort of how before you go out to the States, everybody's all, hey, this is my village, my village. But when you go out to the States and you meet those same people, it's like, nah, dog, we're from Guam. What
You're
village?
from that village. Hey, me too.
Dude, my auntie lives there, bro.
All of a sudden,
No, I didn't grow up there.
Go to-
my auntie's there.
Right, go to the States. Everybody's best friends, bro.
But that's just the way it is.
Commonality.
But why can't we perpetuate that or
Here.
project that from here, right? Actually being here, and it's weird how fucking culture goes away when you come here, but as soon as you leave, it's like, fuck, dude, I'm the fucking most cultural guy, dude.
For real.
Fucking got my Sinahi, wearing all the shirts. Dude, speaking of the Sinahis, have you guys seen those pictures of people posting fucking pictures with the empanada on their chest?
Pull that up. I've never seen that, dude.
I don't think I have an example, dude. Matt, see if you can like scour the internet, empanada Sinahi, bro.
Empanada Sinahi,
Dude, bro.
Oh, that's funny.
The
Maybe
fucking-
Reddit.
The fucking funniest thing ever, dude. Funniest thing. I was like, oh my gosh.
Are they laying down in there?
Yeah, and I think Mama Shar did Mama Shar did a piece of fried chicken or a chicken nugget or something like that on her.
Oh man, dude, that's funny.
Yeah, but it's just going back to just culture and just being united here, right? Why are we only united when we're not here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why is the unity much bigger than, I mean, if you look out in the States, they still celebrate all December 8th, Liberation, bigger than what we celebrate here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, people are like, oh, fuck, is occupation this and that and whatever your viewpoint is, it's dividing everybody here, right? And it's just blowing my mind, dude. It's like hard to grow creatively when society is at arms with each other. And as soon as we don't agree with you, it's like, oh, you don't agree with me? Hey, dude, I gotta go over there.
Yeah.
We can't talk.
Yeah.
Dude, still gotta live here. We're all still human.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if I didn't believe in shit, you didn't believe in shit. We just be two people who don't believe in shit.
Yeah.
Wouldn't change a damn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think it's growing though. Like
is.
all the people like around our age groups and stuff going into entrepreneurship is like really supportive. Like, man, like just jumping into
Agreed.
jumping into music again, like meeting all the musicians, like, dude, it's like mad love, and everybody's like,
Did you ever put yourself out in the circuit before?
circuit. What do you mean?
Like in the music circuit, like playing out or just...
Only with 1991, but after
That's
that,
right,
nothing.
1991.
Like I just stopped music for like 2 years, dude. Just did jiu-jitsu and worked.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a hard balance between like acoustic attack, jiu-jitsu, and then like film, as like those are my personal trifecta that I've been really trying to grow, you know, at a fast pace for all of them, and it's really difficult to keep up with sometimes.
For sure, dude.
So,
I learned that the hard way last year. Last year was my test, like my trying time of putting too much on my plate.
Yeah.
And then fucking realizing like, whoa. Like I joined too many things. All of a sudden I was this, and this.
Yeah.
You know, and it's easy to get so busy or spread yourself thin here, right?
You got to reassess regularly.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of what I forced myself to go take a vacation internationally to really like disconnect from everybody, you know. And
Do you disconnect socially
not socially, but just not
or social
having to be
social medially?
No, no. Like with me, I think it's important for me to stay active to keep myself relevant in my line of work, but as far as not having to meet anybody for lunch or not having to fulfill a certain, you know, commitment, it's really just complete, like, what do you want to do today?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, whatever, man. Because I do make it a point to make sure when it's time to work, I work hard and I work a lot, you know, and I believe that's the formula. But when it's time to disconnect, I really try to just like zero pressure, you know. So,
Right.
and it really helps.
Disconnecting from social media though, like, man, I went to Saipan for Chris Boomer's relief concert. Like, I played too, and I have GTA, and GTA doesn't work out there, so I had like nothing. Like, I couldn't, like, no internet,
Yeah.
right, and like no call. So like that is nice too, just to disconnect from everything. Like, it was like I didn't have to, like, I had to figure out something to do instead of like, oh, swipe or whatever, you know.
Go into zombie mode.
Yeah.
I go into zombie mode a lot. I'm like, whoa, you're scrolling too much.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, what when I did like a reassessment on myself with my social media, right? And I went through it, and I was like, okay, what's popping up on my feed? Because for a while, it started to be a bunch of like these viral, stupid videos, right? Like just comedy, like stupid shit videos. And I was like, dude, it's because the algorithm, right? So what I did is I pretty much like removed everything that was sort of time wasteful. And I started to trigger the algorithms with, like, you know, good quotes and
productive
videos. And it actually changed pretty much my dailies, you know, like completely evolved, right? So if you guys want to try that out, just, you know, see what it does for you, you know. So what I did is I made sure that everything I was seeing had something to do with, you know, jiu-jitsu or film or, you know, music or something like that. And that's it. And that's all I see. You know, and I purposefully like things that I want, like as a strategy, so it keeps me posted. Right, yeah. So I do my best, you know. And,
I don't know,
and
bro. I have a hard time.
Yeah,
I have a hard time disconnecting.
Just like everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's everything that this podcast has been built off of is social media.
Yeah.
Just like really trying to connect with people and stay connected with people, cold calling people and stuff like that. And dude, and if I turn it off for a couple days, it's like, fuck, I'm so I feel lost almost. I almost feel lost.
Well, you need to know the up to date with like know-how of what everybody's doing, like the empanada Sanahi. You would, you know, if you weren't on social media, you wouldn't see that. You know,
I don't know how important that is though.
No, but that's local material, and that's what you need.
You have an example?
Yeah.
Man,
you find it?
You have it? You have it on your phone?
Yeah.
Just show these
airdrop
guys,
it. Airdrop it to all of us.
Just show these guys.
That's good, bro.
Dude, that's good. Are crazy.
You know who's funny on social media? I like is DJ Oz. His feed, like, he just makes a bunch of memes, it's like local memes. It's super funny, dude.
Yeah, hey, I love one thing about Guam, bro. I love the Guam comedy.
Yeah, Guam comedy is
good.
Like,
man.
we need to get people on like a freaking skit or something.
My lady was just saying, they're like,
it's easy to make fun of Guamanians in Chamorro.
She goes, man, there's some fucking comedians here on Guam.
For real.
You know, there's a guy who did
the haka with the food.
No, the one I saw was they were fishing off of a ganya in a ganya. He goes, babe, come. And she fucking pulls out a dildo.
See Lil John again.
Wait, what?
Lil John just.
Oh yeah.
He's good.
That guy's videos are funny too.
Funny, bro. He called the mayor's office and said there's bats in his tree. There's fucking actual bats. Like baseball bats. Yeah, dude. I just feel like
spice it up,
and it's cool. It's cool because I always end up getting into these sort of conversations with people who come on the show. It's like progression. We all see it, you know, and even with the art that's coming out, right? It's like, whoa, you know, people do like this is what you guys do in your free time.
Yeah,
make badass shit.
Yeah.
And more tattoo artists.
Yeah, dude, and they're all over the place, man. And I feel like it's just this decade that we've been able to like really harness the energy that's coming out of that. And it's awesome.
Yeah.
See,
totally
communities and subcultures all over the place. People are worrying about the culture dying.
Mm-hmm.
The culture's evolving.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I would say I completely agree with that. You know, like you can't know where you came from, and that's even already difficult for us because, you know, written record is super limited. But, you know, I do believe to always kind of try to research and learn more about ourselves, but I also, let's just move forward too, you know, like let's stop trying to make it authentic to what it was exactly. Just, you know, even if it's not purely authentic, let's just move forward.
Yeah, and
it's
like
okay. It's gonna evolve,
and it's okay for not everybody to believe in the same things, right?
Yeah.
And they all lead to one thing, is purpose, right? You're just trying to find purpose, dude.
Yeah.
And, whether you're fighting for the indigenous culture or you're fighting for the evolution of the culture, what everybody brings to the table, no matter what race you are, you know, whatever blood runs through your veins.
Yeah.
You know, we're getting these influences, and this is where I'm really seeing now the subcultures really, really evolving. And then the podcast subculture, with the amount of podcasts that are coming out, I'm just like, thank you, Lord, I'm not the only one, because now we can be on each other's shows and
share audience
and
share ideas.
But,
you know, that's exactly how this realm works, you know, is you share audiences, and that's how you grow.
Yeah, and that's why I'm also Simple trying to show other podcasts who people are getting into it. Like, hey, you need help? Let me know. I can tell you what I know.
Yeah.
I may not have like the best shit or best ideas, but you know, I can share with you what I've learned over the years, and then pay it forward. And eventually we're gonna have this huge subculture of podcasters just here on Guam alone. Yeah. And now people are gonna be able to tap into the minds of everybody here because of podcasts, right? Because of conversations like this, or whether you're doing a crime story or love story, or
and it's also like it's one of those intentful talks, right? It's like throughout the day you're always moving so fast, so you don't really get to dive deep a lot, right? So you almost have to do these things intentionally, right? Like have dinner with your family intentionally, or have a podcast intentionally, right? To give yourself that time to do that, right?
Yeah,
because if it really is difficult sometimes to make time.
Yeah,
and sometimes it's difficult to make time.
And you mentioned balance, right? You have the trifecta, and I don't know if you have a trifecta of things that you sort of like focus on. I mean, as men, outside of your families, right? As men, sort of, we have to keep in mind that even women, you know, but as us men, you know, sitting in this room, you know, we have to realize that self-care is extremely important. Doesn't matter how big your family is.
Yeah. What do you mean by trifecta in that?
His trifecta is jujitsu, acoustic attack, and
like film,
right?
Well, you know, film production, photography, all of that.
So and those are the things that sort of like keep him balanced. Oh, you're asking me what my trifecta is?
Or
for me, it's
around the table.
It's, I mean, it's podcasting for sure. Music's always been a part of my life, and dude, honestly, I'm really enjoying this jiu-jitsu journey that I've.
Oh yeah, man.
I started last year, right, and this, I guess, this kind of ties into me spreading myself too thin, and realizing I did, because I was, you know, I did paddling. I started jiu-jitsu, you know, I was trying to go to the gym more, but I didn't take care of my career, like getting my license, and I started adding a bunch of these things to my life on top of podcasting, on top of work, on top of fucking just having a social life, and I spread myself too thin, and I became overwhelmed with just life in general. And so I had to tear myself down and accomplish the things that I hadn't accomplished the year before, and get it off my plate. So I left the gym, and I went straight to studying. Nice. And I cut everybody out of my life. Close friends, maybe a few people were still coming around. You know, that I would see Matt, because we were still doing podcasts. I make sure to keep that in my life. And now that I passed it, you know, passed the exam, got my license, I started new with this sort of like fresh being. You know, my soul was refreshed. I was like, wow, I completed this thing that's been looming over me for the past like 3 or 4 years, and now I can actually like focus on the things I want to focus on. And so podcast was the definite automatic I've been trying to get back into music for, you know, the last couple months, you know, since the year started. And the last like couple months I've been like heavily really training, you know, and that's and I've decided like, dude, that's the journey I want to be on, because they sort of like help intertangle with each other.
Yeah.
You know, just with after a good training session or just after a good roll, and you sit there and you just talk, and you don't even know fucking 30-45 minutes went by, and you're just talking about whether it be positions or moves or submissions or life, right? And it's like, wow. It blew my mind.
I'm happy you had that experience.
It's like
bro.
church.
I was telling Lewis that, you know, someone introduced jiu-jitsu to me in 2006, but I was like, cool. Yeah.
Probably a different experience.
Yeah, right. And that's probably what it was. I wasn't put in like in a typical like setting, like a gym or anything like that. It was like backyard style, like, hey bro, we got some fucking mats back here, the grass.
Let
me show you some shit. And UFC was like starting to like blood and stuff, right? It was like, that was the really early years of like the Ultimate Fighter and all that.
I recommend it so hard, bro, because it really helps you to understand life, you know.
For sure, dude.
There's a lot of analogies, so
understand yourself, I guess. Right?
One thing I love about it, dude, that's why I'm like so addicted and I really feel like I have to do it every day, is just that type of exhaustion I feel is healthy, dude. It like relieves so much stress. You're able to give out like energy if you're like angry throughout the day or whatever. It's just like that release, you know? Like have that every day. Like I feel like I'm a better human being, dude, if I train every day.
For sure, dude. You guys are at levels that I don't understand yet, right? As far as like the jiu-jitsu journey, for me, it's still like I go to the gym just to survive. You know, it's like, fuck, okay, I'm gonna survive today.
Dude, most people that understand that, especially like starting like white belt, like if you know that white belt, like you're just supposed to learn how to survive, you'll progress fast. I think.
Yeah, and I think if you really keep in mind, you know, like why you're doing it, because you're doing it really, if a situation ever comes down, you're alone and you're gonna be able to do something. You know, that's really why you're training, right? So if you ever start getting stuck in this place where, you know, you're unmotivated or you feel like, you know, you're not a competitor or some shit like that, you know, then click, you know, refresh your mind, you know.
I actually did have a dream just last night that 2 dudes were trying to jump me and I fucking pulled guard and I fucking framed up and I kicked him over and I swept him. I was like, whoa.
And I broke the other guy's arm.
But yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's really cool to just experience. I think if I joined back then in 2006 when it was introduced to me, I had no care for my body. I have a real good understanding of what my body is capable of, and so when we're in it, I'm just kind of I'm more understanding of how far I can push myself without killing myself.
Yeah,
I think it's important to feel that regularly and under your own terms, because if something ever happens and you're getting gassed, you know, you have to be comfortable in the uncomfortable, right? So better you do it to yourself than in a real world situation, right? So just, that's kind of something that I've been doing it for a while, right? And anybody that does it for a while, I'm sure there's little spaces and bumps where you're kind of thinking, or you're busy, or you're tired, or you can't make time, and it's like, I just remind myself, like, dude, this is not really an option, you know? Like, you have to stay active with this shit. You know?
Yeah.
It is literally life or death, especially the way the world's been going down, you know? Like,
like understanding how to deal with pressure.
Yeah, I'm sure for the women that do it, I'm sure their families feel a great little sigh of relief, you know? I believe that.
A deal of comfort.
Man, I feel like every girl should learn how to do jiu-jitsu just for the worst possible
for
situation.
peace of mind.
For sure.
Yeah.
Just to know what to do when you're in certain
I think there's a big gap in the jiu-jitsu market for sort of like, how would you say, like boutique service, right? Like maybe a girl doesn't necessarily want to be normal classes, right? But you can make it available to them,
like a private class or something.
Yeah, like that. But maybe
well, that's what
something of the sort, right? Where it's not like you're not maybe they don't want to pursue a black belt, right? But they just want to like have the fundamentals down. Yeah, self-defense basically, right? So I think there's potentially like a market for, you know, same way people hire personal trainers for working out. I think that piece can be unlocked soon. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
I know what you mean. And personal trainers end up opening up their own gym where they have their own.
You know, you don't need, you know, 30% of 170,000 people. You just need like 1,000 to 5,000 people at a certain price range, and that could be, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's more achievable than you think. Right? You don't have to take over the whole market.
See your business mind turning.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you don't need to open up a gym for a bunch of people. Just like maybe give to people that want to learn.
You can have a 100 square foot place and just with mats and
I really had like this concept of like a mobile, like not a container, but something similar that, you know, we could just like bring it to their place, and it's sort of like, you know, there's official classes, and then I feel like that's the gap that school teachers can kind of fill, you know, of course with the gym, but also is like a boutique service, you know.
Right.
And
for people who don't really have time to go to the
it's more of like this personal training, you know, like a very customer service based service.
I just feel I feel like jiu-jitsu requires dedication, and that was my hesitation when Lewis first asked. He's like, just come by the gym, just watch. Like, okay, I'll come, you know, that sort of like thing. And
if anything,
I'll check it out. Maybe like 3 weeks from now.
Remind me.
Remind me. And I gotta remind you, dude. So it's I feel, and that was my hesitation when I first started, was like I wanted to be dedicated to it, because if I just got into it and then just like sort of went to it, it wouldn't make an impact.
Right.
And so I guess that's just what I see with just the last few months or couple months that I've actually like dedicated myself to it. And but it is possible, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? Have sort of that on the go jiu-jitsu training.
Yeah.
I think it's possible, man.
Like you see how like people pop up yoga place or whatever.
Right.
You do the same thing.
Oh, Jason Davis freaking does his huge tribe workout classes.
Okay.
Oh, the one at EPAL?
Yeah.
Is it one at EPAL? Yeah, right.
You know, he's
Yeah, do you remember when after Hutsa started, and then all these groups, fucking like 35 groups, I felt like people were running all over the island. I was like, damn, this is awesome.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on? People working out at the beach, kettlebells, like, holy shit.
Same thing for like Zumba.
Yeah,
like Zumba came out at the Micronesia Mall, and then now every gym has Zumba, dude.
Yeah, bro, it's insane. It's insane how wildfires burn here on Guam, dude. Like, things become trendy.
Yeah.
That.
You know, so I read this one thing that says you just gotta find 3 hobbies in life, right? One to make you money, one to keep you creative, and then one to keep you fit, right? So that's kind of how I treat jiu-jitsu, right? Like, it's hard to find time to work out, but if I could just make time for jiu-jitsu, then that's all I really need. Like, truthfully, I don't need to. I'll still go running here and there and do other types of circuits once in a while, but even if jiu-jitsu is the only thing I do, like, that's my balance, you know. It's like I don't have to think about how many squats and how many sets and biceps or backs, you know what I mean? Like, go do jiu-jitsu, bro. Like, you'll get a good workout. Don't worry.
You want your bicep and your back and your leg and your neck muscles. You work all of those in jiu-jitsu. I've never had my body hurt so bad in my life,
bro. That's a big...
I played football, I played rugby, I played soccer, I fucking played volleyball.
Yeah,
dude, jiu-jitsu is the only way you come home like, fuck, I don't know what hurts.
Yeah, that's a big part of why I love it.
One big hurt.
That's why I love it, man, because it's easy maintenance. You know? Just do it.
Dude, that's so funny.
So I'm trying to this injury, dude. I got for those of you listening and can't see, I cut my my hand on some glass, and I was pissed. The first thing I said was, fuck, I can't train tomorrow.
No, don't train with
That's when you know your priorities are right.
I was like, fuck.
Bro, if that's the first response you get, if you get hurt, bro, you're going to be in jiu-jitsu for a long time. Bro, dude.
Because dude, I've been playing basketball this last year. You know, play basketball 2 to 3 times a week, and bro, so hard on the knees, man.
Yeah.
Jumping and jumping. It's like, oh my gosh, I need, and then I thought, you know, with playing basketball and then going to jiu-jitsu, I thought it was gonna. It's like everything that happened in basketball didn't matter because the jiu-jitsu is working a whole different part of my body now, right? Plus the mind.
Yeah,
for real.
That's the biggest muscle.
Yeah, man. So it's cool. It's cool. I'm glad to like have restarted it.
Yeah,
and I want to say that if I wish I could say that everything I learned last year I still knew it, but when I came back I was like, fuck, I don't remember it. You know, and the minor, then I feel like this is the only sport where the minor details actually fucking matter. The inches actually matter.
Yeah.
Dude, if I skip a week, dude, I feel like I suck, dude.
Dude, AJ was just asking, I think he was asking you. He goes, dude, when you skip like 3 days, do you feel like off? You know, like from Saturday to Monday? It's like,
real, bro.
It's like something we need to fill in something on Sunday there.
For real.
There's a hole in my heart.
But yeah, dude, I feel like every person needs something to hang on to, right? And I'm glad I found it. It seems like you found it.
Yeah.
I don't think we've heard what.
Trifecta?
Yeah.
Man, dude, like what you guys are talking about, like I talked to my girlfriend about this too, but like the way I think about it is like you need to find something for your mind, you need to find something for your body, and you need to find something for your soul. So like soul is music, body is jiu-jitsu, and then my mind is like media. So it's really just like how do I exhaust creativity out of the 3? And dude, so far this year is freaking awesome, dude. It's taking me into places and meeting people. Like it's only April,
right?
Yeah,
but you really have to like hone into it.
Yeah. Well, I just feel like if you just dedicate like the time wisely per like day per week to just hit the 3, then dude, I feel great, feel happy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I mean, everything you're working for is a lifestyle, right? So you don't have to wait for that lifestyle.
Yeah,
you know, maybe financially, but you know, as far as
man, I do want to say too that lifestyle doesn't necessarily have to be one particular thing too. You know, like some people that are like their lifestyle revolves only around jiu-jitsu. Like, dude, no, like there's other stuff too that you can implement that where they all help each other out, or like someone who's just all like playing music, like do you need to include something with your body? You need to include something else, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you're just playing like music all the time but you're not releasing physical energy, you know, then there's gonna be something that comes up, or you know?
Yeah, I mean, like I think you hit the hammer on the head, the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head.
Hammer on the nail?
Hit the hammer on the nail. You hit the nail on the head when you said, you know, exhausting creativity, and you can actually like over exhaust yourself to where you can become tired of it.
Yeah.
And not want to do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
When I was playing music, I became tired of playing music because that's all we did.
Yeah.
We go to the bar, we get fucked up, we play music, we get fucked up, go to the bar, play music, get fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, we always try to find a reason to throw a party into it or throw a different aspect into it, and we weren't realizing, or for me personally, I'm not going to speak for everyone else in the band, but for me personally, it was affecting different aspects of my life. So everything sort of has to be a trickle down effect, right? And sort of spill over. You need that spillover rather than a dividing line of what your trifecta is.
Yeah.
Right. Everything kind of has to like bleed into each other.
Yeah.
And until you find that, yeah, it becomes difficult. It becomes a battle with self and purpose.
Yeah.
Like, why am I doing this? You know how many times I've questioned me doing this podcast? Like, why am I doing this podcast?
Yeah.
And
you just gotta ask the right questions.
Yeah, and it was
yourself.
That was mainly in the first year, and it's because I didn't dedicate myself to it, dude. And when I started dedicating myself to it, is when I started realizing the purpose, my purpose, not its purpose, but my purpose for doing it. I don't know. I still don't know what the purpose of this podcast is, but my purpose, it's fulfilling the aspect of, dude, I get to meet people, like you said, dude. I mean, you put yourself into positions that you've never put yourself into before, dedicating yourself to something? I know you said recently you just got into photography, right?
Well, dude, it's funny, dude. I actually like worked for TPI too, and that's
Okay.
like when I got into photography. But I got
Apprentice.
I got he split, then I went in. But okay,
Apprentice.
I actually like through media, through UOG, like picked up photography, like learned video, all that stuff, and then
So it's been a part of you.
yeah,
For a while.
ever since like. Well, also like through FD, you know, like we make videos for Songfest, stuff like that.
Okay,
You know, like
yeah,
production's like a part of it, taking art, but really in college, and then doing my intern at TPI through senior year of college, and then picked up the job, and it just kept going. That's where everything else slowed down. It became more about like social media management, promotions through content, you know, stuff like that. And then really only like since last year I took photography seriously to where like I'm trying to go do shoots for portfolio, stuff like that, which is what I'm doing now.
Right. Building your portfolio
for like freelance.
Right.
Yeah.
So interesting, bro.
has to be done.
How like our lanes have been falling together, and it's naturally been coming together as far as him contributing to Acoustic Attack from behind the scenes and his background and what he's doing now. It's just it's really interesting to see, more especially special because he was the first person ever on Acoustic Attack, you know. So
Do we have that video?
yeah,
Like me and Jose.
yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Can we see it?
First
Pull it up,
ever, bro. That was what we came up with the name.
That was before I had cauliflower.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, you can see my ears. It looks nice, dude. Not now.
yeah.
My ears look fucked up, dude.
Yeah, so I just always say, man, like I enjoy having him around because he's pretty much a very big real piece of it, and
Thank you.
it's still around, you know, like it's.
So it doesn't make sense for you to want
To do it?
sort of
Man,
continue?
dude, I told Ryan, bro, like, I told him too. I was like, dude, this thing has to exist, bro. Like, it just, like, I
Matt,
feel
you
like
could
that's
just go to, sorry,
Okay,
Matt,
go.
you can just go to playlists and then just go to look for the beginning or something.
I could honestly say that that's probably the purpose of this podcast too, is just to exist, dude. Because if it wasn't existing, then it probably wouldn't happen, or you know, same thing with Acoustic Attack. Like I feel like the platform's super powerful just to get people. Like look what it's done in the past few years. It just got more people into trying to write more.
Right.
People trying to do more like music for themselves than rather just be a cover band or something like that. You know?
Right.
You want us to smile?
No.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, so that's why my belief in it is even with music, like, you know, as you're talking about the guild, I even told him that too, bro. I was like, dude, with binary coming up, straight up music and Acoustic Attack, there needs to be like some kind of union between all of these platforms
For sure, man.
to organize that guild to
sure.
protect artists,
Yeah.
to advance them, you know. That
Should we just laugh real quick and do like a first 30 of the first video and then
Yeah,
a first 30 of his
it's
last
that
video
one.
and just
Sure, I remember these videos. Okay, I remember these
Yeah.
fucking
plain
videos.
white tees.
1991, yeah.
Yeah, that stuff with Jose. That's like those were the first videos.
Yeah, so let's just watch like a little bit of the beginning and then turn it
Yeah.
off.
Yeah,
and-
because I don't know if we'll be able to play.
oh, the
Yeah,
the
you know, the
mainstream ones.
copyright-
Yeah, well, he's got a
copyrights.
shitload of originals, so you
Okay.
can play any of those.
Okay, yeah, we'll play the first 30 of
Yeah.
the. Damn, Anton, you look different in that one.
Yeah, that's when I was skinnier too, dude. It's weird, bro. Before jiu-jitsu,
Yeah, you can play that one.
I was fat growing
Yeah.
up, and then jiu-jitsu, dropped weight, and then when I fell out of jiu-jitsu, got fat again.
Hey, this is the T1I, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the T1I.
Let me
See, look at that.
Let me
Look
see
at
your ears
Jose.
now.
Yeah, dude, look at my ears, dude.
Hey guys,
It's
you wanna
all
go
fucked
to?
up, dude.
Yeah. So just like kind of another short story Easter egg too is friend Raph Dialson, he actually recorded these guys, which was like something he was calling Guam Live, right? So he was trying to build it right in his studio,
Okay.
and that was a big part of me, like, you know, like, man, this is all it takes, like, let me try to shut out, you know. So like Raph also kind of like sort of mentored me into understanding what I might need,
For sure.
and it was this was the first product of that.
Fuck, I remember this. Yeah.
I do feel like Guam doesn't really like acknowledge Rap for like being the first YouTuber of music.
For sure.
Like, you know, which I
play
think
one of his originals.
I really think he.
Raps on Acoustic Attack.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so play the newest one. So guys, if if you're watching this, that's
Don't play the rap. Don't play the rap.
No, all the way up. Yeah, or whichever one you want.
Is Sorry? Oh no, Sorry's not yours.
That's mine. That's my original song. I made Brandy do.
Can you play that one?
Me.
Just play that one.
See, that's the thing about the live though. Like,
that
man,
one.
dude, like being nervous and stuff. I feel like these songs, if they were treated the same way they was now,
It would
they'll be like played back.
hold a different standard of quality. You know, so
Hey, there's that logo. Look at that logo.
The classic Acoustic Attack logo.
By the way, that's made by Kimo, who made Timeless. So you know he's a piece of that too.
Hey, Timeless right there too.
Yeah.
I really thought that was gonna be like an actual coin you could
Yeah.
hold.
Check this out, bro. Timeless, Opaque, and then this is shot in
The old Crowns.
the old
loft.
Crown Sloth.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so all those boys have been supporting us forever, bro.
If y'all don't know, Anton is an incredible songwriter.
Yeah.
Incredible songwriter.
Yeah, you have to remind him though, because he
you
forgets a
just
lot.
listen to his words, and there's fucking meaning behind them. You can tell. You put thought into into your lyrics, man.
I appreciate people that do, you know, instead of like the nursery rhyme or like just trying to like write it just to get it out. Like, I feel like people could be more creative with what they're trying to say, you know, than just like rhyming your typical words and stuff like that.
Yeah. What's your process?
It's funny.
Have you always been lyrical or poetic?
Man, dude, so my first influencers, like people to influence writing with me, like long time ago, like even Ben, dude, that's how I know Ben, like long time ago, was like Savage K and my cousins that they rap.
Okay.
So I really appreciate like lyrics and rap, especially like this is one thing that we did in high school with Bonifacio.
Okay.
Right, he put us through this process where we had to make a parody of a song or something like that, or write our own.
Okay.
You know, and he told us to do it in rap. And we were like, well, why, right? And he said, well, with rap, like, there's so many words in one segment of rap that paint pictures, you know? So that's where I kind of get the idea where it's like, you need to be specific with your words so that it kind of puts images in your head, you know? That's why when I kind of describe, or like when I write lyrics, it's really like describing moments, or like really trying to like get people to picture like what's actually like happening. Like the beginning of this song, it says like driving and miles away, stuff like that, you know. But the process, I told this to,
Don't be sorry, bro. You can pick any route you want, bro.
so
I'm captivated.
the process of writing, I told this to Ben and Leia, I think, when we were talking about it, was I always try to pick a phrase that I like in particular, and then I try to like either make it a hook, or I try to make it incorporate into like a bridge or something like one of the main parts, right? And then through the verses I just expand thoughts about that particular phrase. You know, so like home, it says the phrase that started home was as long as I keep coming back, as long as I keep on coming back home to you, right? Or I can't even
Yes,
think of it with
yes,
it, right?
that's
Yeah.
your song.
As long as I keep on
That's your
coming-
song. Yes, that's your
As long as I keep on coming home back to you.
Yeah.
That was like the phrase between me and my girl when we were like in a tough time, where it's like, man, I don't care like what happens, what people say or whatever, as long as we come home, you know. So it was like, dude, how can I put this in a
man.
song, you know, or like how can I put that phrase? And then it takes like the writing part, like really like, okay, what does that phrase mean to me? And then I try to pick chords to get the mood, and then from there just keep like really nitpicking at words, like, okay, maybe this phrase can be in the first verse because it's trying to, you know, like kind of like really breaking it down like poetry a little bit, you know. And like if something doesn't make sense, or if it sounds too cliche, I don't mind like taking it out or trying it or rewriting it or whatever.
Right. Oh man, dude, I haven't written a song in 4 years, so it's like I'm in this point in playing music, I'm trying to refine myself,
Yeah.
and redefine what music means to me, because I'm not the same person I was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
When I last wrote music, I've evolved as a person because of this podcast, talking to musicians, athletes, producers, fucking all under the sun, and each one of those conversations have fucking like completely evolved the way I think and who I am. And I feel like if I try to write the way I used to write, then I'm not really defining today, right?
Yeah.
And trying to sound like how I used to sound.
I feel like if you really did try to write something, you probably wouldn't be able to mimic what you wrote 4 years ago.
No, not at all.
You can't fake it.
Yeah, and I mean, I can still play some of the shit that I've written when I was 19, 18, 22, 24, but it's like,
does everybody know your band name, your old band name?
We've brought it up a couple times there, BB Gun Brigade.
Yeah.
I think that's such a
Remember you guys.
fucking witty, like, local. I love that fucking name, dude.
Bro,
It's like Sandlot, you know?
We
It
were just
reminds me
all
of Sandlot.
outside the bar, outside the venue. We're like, I think it's time for we're gonna change our band name because we are long overdue. Before,
Yeah.
right.
What, like you're supposed to change it every 6 months?
It's long overdue.
It's time to oil change.
Guys, we're
gotta
long
change
overdue for a band name change. So, and we just fucking, I don't even know. I
It's
don't even know
catchy,
how
though.
fucking BB Gun Brigade.
It just really makes me feel like Sandlot, bro. Like, damn, that's just the backyard
sounds-
boys, bro.
It sounds dangerous, but it sounds fun. So it's like, like jumping out of a plane, it's like, dude, that's fucking dangerous. But dude, it sounds so fucking cool though, dude.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, and those some of the best times, just because we were still writing music, right? The goal was to write as much music as I can.
Yeah.
Also play the stuff that I have written when I was in the States. But now I'm in this point, it's like I'm trying to get back into music, but fucking having the hardest time. Like
Yeah.
finding myself, redefining myself in musically as a musician. Before I keep going,
Yeah.
let's go to the new ones.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, since the hiatus, like with 1991 though, like that whole 2 years I didn't like play anywhere, or I didn't even like play for anyone. I still like wrote like that song that I played earlier. I just wrote that like in November or December.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I'm still like, when I think of the phrase in particular, then I don't try to force it.
Are you a writer or are you a writer typer?
I used to write in a notebook, but now it's easier for me to put it in
The
my
phone.
phone, and then the cloud kind of like keeps it all together.
I see.
But like, man, I don't force it where it's like, man, okay, I'm gonna write a song today. It's more of like when that thought or that feeling comes into mind.
you can get volume format.
Sometimes I can't stop, dude. Like I'll sit down and just drop whatever I'm doing until like that song's like finished. And I would say that like a lot of my songs weren't like under the influence of anything.
Yeah.
And also like I did write it within like 2 days just because I wanted to get it done. But then there's some songs where I feel like they're not done. But everybody keeps telling me like, no, dude, it's fine how it is. Like,
I don't know what you're hearing, but it's like, it's out.
Like
good.
songs that are like only like 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It's like, dude, sometimes that's good, bro. And I'm like, man, dude, I feel like what if there was a solo in or something like that? And it's like less is more. So,
but once you start playing with other people, all the dynamics start rounding out. Right?
Yeah. Exactly. Like, man, 4 for 4 when they played Home.
Those kids.
Man, dude, I really love how they brought that song to life, dude. Like, shout out to those guys, dude.
Yeah. So I guess I just want to kind of give context about our latest thing so people know what we're talking about.
For sure.
Right?
The reboot.
Yeah. So we just spent the end of last year figuring out what our purpose was as Acoustic Attack and figuring out how to deliver it the best way possible. So long story short, we've been working with Bank of Guam, who throws a block party, and they donate the proceeds to the fight against cancer. And we work with them to put together the entertainment and the media that supports the entertainment, which is basically Acoustic Attack. So we did it a few different ways the years prior, but this year is where we felt like we did it the best way and the right way. So what we did is we pretty much put together a bunch of artists on a compilation collection, right? So we got Chris Boomer to headline, and let's just keep in mind that the whole purpose of this campaign is pretty much just to build momentum for every single person's personal goal, right? So We're here to help.
Like the ultimate. Now you're trying to build the ultimate platform.
Right. So you tie in whatever is going on in your personal career into the campaign, right? So take what we're building for you with the sponsors and with the event. And if you got an EP or you got a single or you have something else,
T-shirt.
a product, then you just use the momentum we're building and you take advantage of it, right? So we use Chris Boomer to release his album, and then we use the John Dank show. They're getting ready, and it wasn't able to line up exactly, but they're building visibility and getting ready for that. Then we built Jed, who just released his EP today, actually, by the way. Jed, I didn't get to listen to it, but once I get home, I'm gonna check it out. But
I think the Khalid album kind of distracted me. My bad, Jed.
Yeah,
it was that fucking Khalid album.
Yeah. Well,
came out at the same time.
There's a lot of music coming out all the time, bro, which is a great thing, bro.
Yeah.
So there's Jed, and then there was Jarvis
And
Leia, and
Ben.
Big Ben, and Anton. And that's all of them. And the special sauce, dude, was 4 for 4.
Yeah.
They really put everything together, So every year,
Backing up all the acoustic.
yeah.
They backed up everyone except for John Dank. I mean,
Right.
obviously,
Yeah.
John Dank's their own band. So.
Right.
Right.
And that takes a lot of work, and it's just it was amazing what they were able to do in such a short time. So basically, the media is the series that introduces these guys to you, or reintroduces, or
Expose.
showcases,
Right.
and then it lands into an event, right? So that's kind of the cycle that we need to keep Acoustic Attack moving in. And the momentum that I feel these artists are able to get through cross promoting everybody, right? Because you guys are all in part of this event, it's natural for you guys to cross promote each other.
For sure.
So when you're talking about audience sharing, it's instead of doing a podcast with one person and one-on-one, you're sharing 2 audiences. You're
Right.
like literally exponentially parring it to 7, it does make a difference, right?
Right.
So it was just interesting, bro. Like, I've never seen it done like that. I've never thought it could be done like that. And it's fun to put together, and it's amazing to see what people can really create,
Yeah.
what you guys did in a month, from this acoustic sound into developing it into a full concert sound is interesting to watch.
Was that the main intention though? Was to have a full blown concert?
So how it simply worked before was there was a competition, and then they had like a headliner, right? And this time there's not really a headliner.
Oh, right. It was like a battle of the bands.
Right,
kind of
right.
thing.
So there was people that would win that slot, but
Right.
because we were doing the series, we were like, okay, you really gonna put an acoustic artist up at like a concert event expecting 1,000+ people, So it's like it just didn't really, like, I don't think it's gonna fit like that, right? So we're like, we had to figure out how to build this up. And then, I just reached out to 4 for 4 Kiko, and then he, communicated.
What an animal.
Yeah, so.
Sorry, bro. That guy's an animal.
Yeah, man.
They're
and,
all freaking good.
Yeah, they are really good. Yep.
Yeah, and we just really worked together and gave each other our time, and they worked hard on it, and we all contributed, and everybody was in, because they wanted to be in.
Right.
And that's a special place to be, bro.
Yeah.
Like, to really enjoy the grind part of it, like to really enjoy jiu-jitsu when it's 6th round in, and you already did the warm-ups and you're gassed. Like, those are the people that whoever's around you want to make sure that's the people you want to be with, right? So it's really important for me to choose the people that I want to be in that kind of hustle with, right? Like, I have to rely on you, man, and you can rely on me. I need to rely on you too, right? So it's really nice to get the reciprocating energy, and it's like it's a beautiful process to watch.
Yeah, it seems like you've really come to understand how to move the pieces, right? I mean, this ain't your first rodeo with the show. You did the show with over at the Leo Palace. Was it
Yeah,
Leo
so
Palace?
Acoustic Attack Live to me is the pinnacle of kind of what I think we can become, because it, like, were you ever able to make it, or you were in Saipan at one time, and then did you go to?
And it wasn't. I came in the night.
Right, and then did you go to any of them? Right, you missed both, right? Yeah.
Right.
So, but you know that environment, man. It's really hard to say how it feels, right? Because you're literally in this place that's evolving the society around it, right? So I want to get back to that place because I felt that there, man, and it was real, and it just needs to be refined and nurtured and grown, right? So I'm trying to get Acoustic Attack back there. That's a milestone that I want to reach for myself and for Acoustic Attack to figure out how to make that frequent. You know, that's to me, that's, if I understand Acoustic Attack, that's kind of
go smaller.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was talking to Gio Wang about quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't need, especially if you're putting it online, you don't need 100 people there.
Right.
You can have 25 people there. As long as those 25 people are enjoying the shit out of themselves.
Yeah.
And you even can find YouTube videos online where it's like they're just playing in like a restaurant and everyone's sitting around and not eating.
Yeah.
Obviously, but it's like it's set up for people to, you know, listen to sort of a live acoustic show.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Just an idea.
Yeah.
Throwing it out there.
Yeah. I think I'm just trying to figure out like what's my way of doing it, right?
For
because I agree with you. You know, there's many ways to do it.
Yeah, you can
ways,
easily like have a couple people sitting on this couch here and then fucking 15 people standing in the apartment like, oh yeah, leaning over the bar. Like, what's going on?
Right. Yeah, I love those vibes too, man. I really dig those vibes. Yeah, I'm not stuck on any certain style or way,
and it's very obvious when you watch all the Acoustic Attack videos. They're not all the same. It's all different shit all the time, different location, different style shooting. I think at one point you and I were discussing like should you put the mics in there, should you like leave the mic, should it look more like
It's like a jam session,
like open, a jam session, without like it feeling like so microphone-ish.
I think there's roles for each, right? And I think if we're a program that's trying to get people to stick to what we're doing and watching, I think we have to capture them with the visual and then close it with the audio, right? Until we get to a place where these artists are 20, 50, 100,000 followers in, then these followers are gonna want to see more of that like unpolished shit, you know. Then let them ask for it. You know, let's go.
I see the angle.
We need to get to a certain place where that's in demand, right?
But that's up to the artist though to put out all the unpolished shit.
Right.
Like Anton, right? From here, he can maybe put out some YouTube videos of himself just jamming in his bedroom.
Right. Because the thing is
no shirt, backwards hat,
in the bathroom, so the reverb
in the bathroom, good acoustics.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, and that would be up to the,
you know, bro. When we're gonna all get
stuff
together and put in certain time for a production, like I don't want it to just be like that, you know. Like if we're gonna all get together, come on, man, we gotta level that part up. But there's a piece, you know, like that piece can live with them. It can be, you know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, do we build a segment that's sort of built around that, you know? So this is where we're at, right? This is where we're trying to make decisions.
Acoustic Attack Raw.
You know,
Acoustic Attack Raw. Dog.
Almost cliche though, right? Like half of me not doing it is because I can't come up with an original name. It's like, fuck Raw, just no, bro. Everybody uses that shit, you know? Like, fuck that. I'm trying to think of
Unplugged. Yeah.
People use that too.
Yeah.
Or jam sesh.
Yeah.
Acoustic Attack jam sesh. Or circle, jam circle.
Sesh with the Z.
Sessions.
Hey man.
No, dude, I feel like the options are limitless though.
Yeah.
If you see how much Mahogany Sessions has evolved themselves, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, you know, and I'm just like I'm taking the path that I think is gonna build what I the direction I believe it's going in, right?
Sure,
So
sure.
of course you can do live. Nobody's saying you're not gonna do live. We have fucking majority of our videos are live.
Yeah.
I'm just, from reassessing where I think we can take it. I think it needs to be more polished, and I think
So this is sort of the result of this.
Yeah, this is
mindset.
and I think it came out really well because it's more pre-planning is done already, right? Like when you're trying to build this thing and it's moving faster, like through the previous years, it's moving faster than I can keep up with. It's hard to stop and reassess because you're always doing something extra big. Like you can't reassess, you have to put it together. And last year was like all the mistakes and all the trials and learning lessons from the previous campaigns and the events, and even just understanding what the video process is.
Yeah, for
Right?
sure.
So do you want natural light? Do you want it? Does it? Like there's so many ways you can do it. So I just think we can really capture Guam with our new format of production.
I love it. I honestly thought it looked really good, especially Anton standing on the rocks, fucking jamming.
Yeah. Dude, it's a funny story, dude.
Like, is that boobies?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Such a funny story how that came out, dude. It's like
Full of Anton's own, not the.
I did the one where he's sitting down. Yeah. Or not that one. Or yeah, that one.
Is it
no,
sitting down in the sand?
Home. It's home.
Yeah,
it's
home. But it's so funny, dude. So like Jarvis and Leia had the first day, and I was actually supposed to be recording on the same day, the same night. But
so this is production, right?
Yeah.
We planned for 2 shoots, right? 1 at the Hive, 2 at the Hive, but 2 different groups.
Yeah. So it was all like legit. Like there was like 4 shooters, 2 photographers, lights, everything. And it was started like what? Like I think like 10,
7 p.m. like setup.
Oh, set up, yeah. But like actual recording, like first artist was Jarvis, I think like at 9, and then those 2 didn't end till like maybe like 12 or like right. So and I still had to go, right. But
and it was a smooth production, by the way.
And it was good.
It was smooth, right? It was just we kind of miscalculated time,
Yeah, and then well, there was a family emergency on my side, so I couldn't do it. And then Ryan was like, man, okay, like, I don't know how we're going to, like, we can't just come back to the Hive, set up this whole stuff, tell everybody to come back, and then film you by yourself,
No way.
And we cannot fit in you with Big Ben, John Dank, Jed, and freaking Chris Boomer on the same night.
So this is problem solving, right? Troubleshooting, like, how the fuck do you have to shoot it tonight? You have to.
Yeah, he was telling, it was a family emergency, and Ryan was like, dude, bro, like, do you have to go? And I was like, dude, bro, I gotta go, dude.
Is it like family, or is it like third, fourth cousin family?
It's my daughter, bro.
I was like, look at everybody here, bro. Like, I can't.
And that was the hard thing for me too.
For
It's
sure,
like, dude, like
man.
everybody was there.
I bet.
We couldn't reschedule everybody, and especially just for me by myself. We only had 2 days to do everybody, right? So I was like, man, dude, what if we just do something like somewhere where it's like I told it, like I don't know if we both came up with the idea.
Well,
like,
we were scouting
like,
the place out for another concept, but it was like, why don't we just fucking go in the back of my friend's house?
Yeah.
We've been scouting it, but it's like, let's just fucking do it that way.
And he was like, man, dude, but I'm the only one shooting. Like, you obviously can't shoot yourself, But I was like, man, dude, what if you just take like gimbal on the cam? We shoot one take one time real wide. You get closer, we shoot it another one close, and then we take another take and we do even like a close up, right? And then you just like cut between them. And it worked out great, dude. It worked out really nice to where everybody that was produced at the Hive was like, dude, I want that. What's funny though, like we went from 4 or 5 shooters to only Ryan on mine, and everybody wanted that one. So that's where we were like, man, maybe this is where it lives. It's easier,
The keep it simple, stupid thing comes into play.
Exactly.
But like, dude, I would say that the one at the Hive, like John Danks, Leia's, like, and Jarvis too is nice, dude.
Yeah, it looked nice.
It was really good.
Even like the tone, the colors.
Yeah, like John Danks, the blue
music,
and red.
Right.
John Dank, yeah.
I just want to
it's
say,
nice.
bro, there's a shitload of help that goes there too.
Yeah,
so
for
Matt
real.
too, or just like they just fucking, I got your back style, and too many to mention, but they all know I show them love, man.
For
so
sure.
fucking
That's the thing
so
too,
much
man. We
appreciation.
didn't want
bro.
to like for the people that are doing it out of love to support. We don't want to like like overexhaust them, or like, bro, dude, we couldn't do Anton, bro. Can you come tomorrow and set up the same way? And it's like, dude.
Always asking them if they want water. You want water?
Yeah.
Thirsty?
Well, bro, like I said,
I don't got food, but
yeah, you really, bro, when people are helping you build something, you customer service, bro, or like just
always ask Matt. I always after Matt after every episode, I was like, how you feeling?
It doesn't take much, bro. Just be real, man. Like, do you give a fuck about me, or or you just need me to press the button?
Wait, you said Matt's your perm?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's where you could talk like that, right? Hey, bro, we're family, bro.
Is it a family emergency? You're a family right now, bro. Nah, we've created a really good understanding with each other, and I respect his time. And it's always whenever something comes up, hey, bro, you available for this day? And he asked for some lead time, and the respect has to go both ways.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Especially if you're wanting help from people who maybe it's not part of their passion too, or maybe it's not the number one thing in their lives, but just the fact that they're there to be there for you.
This is value, dude.
It's value, dude.
Yeah.
Man, that's one thing I took for, like, dude, Ryan kept, dude, ever since last year, like, that I've been, like, sitting down with him, he just always reminding me, dude, like, value to everybody, the audience, the person you're working with, the people that are helping you. He's like, always value their time, their person, like, even if you're like, you have to cut some of your value, like, if you lose out on some money, but it's just to, like, break even, or like, at least you're valuing everybody too,
For sure. And Guam's one of the few places that I've been to where it comes back always, in some, may not in the same form or monetary, but it comes back either way. So it's dope. Let's watch it. So what are we done with the preface? Okay. All right. So it's cool. It's cool to, like, get the inner workings of why you decided to, because I was curious too when I first started watching the video. I was like, shit, is this thing pre-recorded? I couldn't figure. I couldn't really tell at first, and I was like, oh,
and I also think, really, bro, like if I enjoy a video, like, I'm not really having that conversation. Is this really recorded? Like, fuck, that looks nice.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, we always talked about it too. We're like, man, dude, should we like put a mic or whatever? But it always came back to, like, dude, the audio's gonna be so good, the video's so good that who gives a fuck?
Right.
Like, nobody's gonna think about the video when they're listening to it, and then nobody's gonna think about the audio when they're looking at it. Like,
except me. But
no, but from a production guy to a production guy, you're just curious, what's the workflow here? But, like,
right.
Like, that's
like professionals, yes.
Yeah. They pre-recorded? This shit sucks.
Yes.
No, it's not like that. It's not like that.
Yeah, it's all just different strategies.
Very curiosity.
Yeah.
Well, we understood that too, where, like, the only people that would recognize it are professionals, and they would come to, like, an understanding that, man, they had to do this to make it good, or like playback or whatever. It has to look nice. It has to sound nice, most of all.
Yeah, and that polish aspect really, really makes sense. It's like you want something that really has a good production value on both audio and video.
Yeah. Especially with music, man, like,
and especially if you guys shot this in a Ganya, shit's noisy as fuck.
Oh yeah, no, this was in Tamuning.
Oh, Tamuning?
Yeah,
Still noisy as fuck.
Dude, yeah, you're right. You're right, dude. And it's a good thing we shot it, because, like, after the storm, like, that whole beach side just, like, dude, just, like, got trashed after the high tide and all that stuff. Yeah.
So it was perfect.
Yeah, like, it's really nice, dude. The water's calm. I don't know. It was a really good, nice place. Like, our friend that lives there, dude, bro. Dude, it's a really nice place.
What was your, I guess, how would you take this experience and move it on to the rest of your musical endeavors?
It has definitely put, like, it lit a fire under my ass to where, like, if I don't do something with the momentum, then I feel like I'm not just letting people down, but I'm not doing people justice in the efforts of what just happened,
Sure.
So that's why it's like, man, dude, I'm really trying to, like, gather, like, some budget for recording, which I found out is expensive here, dude. Really, dude.
Well, you can do home recording, right?
Yeah, well, I have that too, but I like
play to a metronome and then just have a drummer be like, "Hey, bro, listen to this. Can you drum over this?"
So the plan is, though, to take I've only played my songs acoustically, right? But I want to take it to where I want to produce an actual full recording of the song, like how Home is played with 444. You know, like when you listen to Home on Acoustic Attack, it's very nice and elegant because it's acoustic. But when you were there at Block Party listening to it live with,
I actually heard it all from here.
like, dude, really?
Yeah, I heard it all.
Dude,
from
bro,
yeah.
like they made me love it even more, dude. To where like now like in the plan is if I go record, I'm definitely gonna reach out to Kiko and Austin too, and Kaylee and Jace.
Did you feel like you didn't take
George.
advantage of the platform the first time you were on it?
I think we were both at like a young age at the time, like me in music and Acoustic Attack in development too, where it's like yeah, my writing's good, but maybe my performance wasn't up to par to me learning to come now. And then like, there was a lot of like lessons that I had to learn,
Okay.
to, you know, to know what I want, to where I stand in the genre, where I'm not like hopping around. Like I did a cipher. I just like to write, but like doing a cipher, going into hip hop or whatever. Like now I know, like even like talking to Kiko, like I belong in this space, you know,
Right.
like this Ed Sheeran-y gospel folk type of space, you know. And it's like
For sure.
that's where I appreciate it, and that's where people appreciate it. So just kind of like hone the craft in that space, and then you know when people catch on, then I could like branch off a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Focus on something.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bro.
So that's the sound that I'm sticking with for now.
Yeah, for now.
There's a lot of other songs that I write.
Because you can always evolve.
Yeah,
and,
well, dude.
musically, right?
Well, I have like songs too that sound like there's this one song that sounds like super poppy. Like I would never like write a pop song, but it's funny. It developed when I first got my iPhone 6 that had a garage band in it, and I was like, oh, I'll just mess around with stuff. And then I wrote lyrics to it, and then it just kept going, and I was like, dude,
sounds Bruno Marsy.
Yeah.
Really?
Dude, it's like if you listen to it on my old garage band, dude, like with the very like not techno, like house, or I don't know how to describe it, but it's really not like there's no guitar in it. It's just keys, bass,
all the
a
MIDI
synth, and freaking like drums.
That's like Lucas Graham style, dude. One of my favorite artists too.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a guitar, it's just bass, keys,
just all
drums.
all MIDI.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like I'll put that in my pocket till later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a bunch of shit I want to record and still haven't gotten into it.
Man,
I'll show you guys a couple songs when we get off. Yeah.
One thing I learned, like hanging out with musicians, especially like Joe Guam, dude. Like he was telling me to like reach out to Joe Guam just to like learn a little bit and then get his opinion about stuff. And he really gave me the perspective of like a release strategy. So it's like, man, you have like all of these songs, and it could 4 songs are in this genre, 4 songs are reggae, whatever. It's like, don't just like put it all out at one time. It's kind of like be picky and choosy about like, okay, maybe Home's doing really good, maybe another song that sounds like Home, just, you know, release it. Like if I came out with Home, which is very soft, and I came out with like a freaking hard rock, like it's weird, you know,
screamo song.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I mean, bro, like to really keep it simple, I really think strategy for independent musicians is very simple.
Yeah.
Bro. You cover relevancy or like super hits, and you use that to get people to discover you, and then you write your music, and if they like you, they continue to follow you, and that's the formula. However way you do that, it's still the same formula. So I'm all for all original bands, and I like support it wholeheartedly, bro. You know what I mean? Like we do Acoustic Attack, right? But when we're talking about like strategic growth and the speed of it, you know, I think artists should be really open to covering more frequently. Yeah. You know?
Not necessarily playing out, but learning different aspects and dynamics of music by covering music.
Use it as an attention grabber. Use it as a community builder. Use it as an audience share. You know what I mean? Like, it's such an easy strategy, and it's the best respect you can pay to any musician.
Wow, they played that cover real good. I mean, look at a lot of the popular bands on YouTube. They're all cover bands. Boyce Avenue, William Singe. You have Walk Off the Earth.
Yeah, Walk Off the Earth.
Tyler Ward, Keenan Granis.
Yeah, there's a lot, dude.
A bunch.
But then you got
Charlie Puth, I think, was one too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, Shawn Mendes too. Shawn Mendes got
right.
this Justin Bieber shit.
Yeah.
You know, but man, dude, you got platforms like High Sessions though, you know, where it's like, dude, it's all originals. But we did come to the agreement where it's like for
strategy, right? Like this is talking about like strategy. Like what are we gonna do? Yeah, we agree, we love it, we support it. Okay, yeah, it's a consensus. You know what I mean? Okay,
doesn't bring you as far as if you were to get the Globe looking for this particular song and then you just so happen to cover it. You know, like dude, when Leia did
Broke,
when she did Broke, it was reposted by the artist that wrote it.
Really?
Yeah, it's dope, dude. Like stuff like that happens,
and it's even easy to get that now. It's easier than it was before to get that sort of attention from.
Dude, Vince Mesa.
That's
by the way, he was a part of. You know, he pretty much teamed up with 444 too, and for the most part,
he's a great influence too, bro.
He does. Are you familiar with Vince? Oh yeah, hello, Vince. Yeah, anyways,
I've known Vince a long time.
Yeah, so I mean, like, how many people he's able to get to repost him? Like
Alan
people?
Stone reposted him and Mama Shar, dude. It was fucking crazy.
The world is a small place, bro.
Yeah, especially the music industry is very supportive.
Like,
bro.
believe that shit, bro. It's smaller than you think. You know, like if you're putting out the right shit, a quality that people respect. You know what I mean? You get respect and give respect.
Yeah,
it's simple.
You know what I see you as, Ryan? I feel you were like an agent of, for reals. Like
I keep telling him that, but he doesn't want to take the role.
You are like an agent of fucking like making people understand their potential. You know, and putting them in the right place to do it, dude. Just hearing you talk about it, it's like you're not a musician, but you understand what it takes to be a musician and at least a social media aspect, right? And you don't have to be a musician to understand social media and how to promote yourself on it, but you're fucking all on it, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
An agent of change, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what Acoustic Attack's supposed to, be that platform to.
You know, like you said, it's just a reflection, right? Like all I really try to do, man, is figure out how I can give value, right? Whether that's through business transaction or whether that's through growth or mentorship or anything, bro. Like I feel like if I keep that top of mind, everything else will kind of fall in place, right? So just continue to give value. Don't worry so much about like how much return am I getting? You know what I mean? Like I kind of course that's always a question in business, but I don't make that run me. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, value first, bro. Is just if you give value, then people will respect it, right? Because bro, when you go to someone and you give someone value, it's only right and it's only natural for you to naturally reciprocate something, right? So, human nature, right? Just be the first to give something, so you know what I mean. Then
and it runs in our culture here, right?
Yeah.
Scratch your back, you scratch mine, and we'll keep scratching each other's back until no one's itchy.
Bro, good that's a good one, bro. That's a really good one. Good business is just good relationships, bro. That's all it is.
I don't even know how.
Dude, every tomorrow's back.
Scratch and tickle, you get tickle the back.
Yeah. Especially when they're outside in the sun all day and they got sunburn.
Bro, you can't scratch my back. It's okay, bro. I'll just go to the edge of the door right here, dude, and just like scratch.
Don't worry about me. I'll worry about me.
Only God can judge you.
Okay, let's finally watch this video. I want to see it.
Okay. Shit.
Not that I didn't see it, but I just kind of, now that we got the background of everything, it's like,
look at it from a different view.
I got a better understanding. Yeah.
Sponsored by Domino's.
Yeah. We're not. Come on, bro. We're sensitive about these sponsors. No one can just be a sponsor.
You're gonna get edited out.
Now we're gonna have to bleep that. Sponsored by bleep.
Sponsored by Cheesy Bread.
And you can't even tell unless you're really like trying to tell. Yeah.
You're right. But then, anything could be said, bro. Dude, there's a boom mic hanging over my head from somebody 10 feet away.
Right.
For real.
Right.
I promise.
Oh, there is?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say, it was just you guys.
Yeah.
So basically, you jammed this 3 different times.
Maybe a little more.
It just depends on every performance, right? So the idea too, bro, of making it pre-recorded is to reduce the amount of takes we have to shoot, because that really kills me, right? Is like how much footage I have to store.
But are you trying to like lip sync,
Yeah.
or are you actually singing?
So the way I play it is how I play it every time, dude.
Right.
It's funny, the way I play it too is the same way I played it with 444. It's just they're adding, you know, to it. So the structure is the same. The same way that I did the cover is it's the same structure. It's just or I think that's what made it easier to film me too. It's just it's always played the same, the same sing, the same guitar.
Bro, music videos are made all the time. It's super easy.
Yeah, you have the music playing in the background. So that's basically what you had. Yeah.
That's it, man. It's you know, like I do plan to try to provide value through tips, right? So hopefully we get to this place where I can pretty much tell you how to do it and just do it. You know? So that's kind of a place we're trying to go. You know, we're just trying to figure out how to monetize it, how to be efficient, and you know, put it out the right way and stuff like that. So you know, provide value first. And
it's fucking perfect, dude. Honestly, I think it's really good production as far as like it kind of looks like you do have a microphone in front of him, right? And then it has that pan out, that more wider view, and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah. You know, it kind of adds a little like curiosity. He's like, how the fuck are they doing that?
That's what got me.
Yeah.
That's what got me.
So good.
It's like the sound's perfect. There's like perfect reverb. They're by the ocean.
Dude, it's crazy too. Is that's not even the first time we shot that. The first time we shot that, it rained, dude.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah. So we
had to
couldn't do it, dude. We're like, fuck.
Yeah, guys. So if you want to support us, there's merchandise right there.
Hey.
Click that right there.
Yeah. We'll give you a chance to.
You want to
Matt,
sample?
How long will we be going here, Matt?
2 hours.
Damn, guys.
How do you usually call it?
Bro, I don't know, dude.
I don't.
know.
That was a beautiful song.
Yeah.
Tune in to the next Master Random.
And it ends right now. Thank you, guys. No, dude, I think it's pretty cool just seeing it evolve. And that's why I was excited to like have you on, and then more excited that you're on, because now we get to like really talk about from the artist perspective and not just a production perspective.
I think that's a big piece of why we were able to build it the way we did, is because he was able to pull hats on and off, and I was able to answer as the producer and as the brand, you know what I mean, creative director, whatever you want to call it. And it was like there was perfect synergy of like, okay, what about this? And then he'll give me like an honest, transparent feedback, and I'd be like, fuck, kind of right. Okay, what about this? You know, and we were able to just keep carving, you know, our own sides, and then just try to make a puzzle fit. So, we're obviously not perfect. We're not exactly. There's always goals to attain. So there's a lot of growth to come.
Yeah, but you didn't disappear for a year or two, and then come back and put the same production. You know, you purposely and intentfully, you know, is that even a word?
Intentionally
wanted something different, put out something different, and that's I think that's the biggest key to your evolution, at least the evolution of the series, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, the missing piece was really the audio, because like for the longest time, dude, like since Acoustic Attack started, I told him like, man, bro, you need a sound engineer, bro.
Yeah.
Like you just need to get a guy in the team to just produce the songs or whatever. And he was like, man, you're right. And then finally it happened. And then look, dude, it freaking brought up the quality. Just, I don't know, it skyrocketed, dude. Yeah. Now it's kind of like we have the formula. Imagine if it just keeps going, more artists. What's next year? When's AA live? You know?
Right.
Yeah. That's kind of where, you know, the Acoustic Attack Trifecta, right, is like the media which promotes the merch, and the media which promotes the event, and the artist who promotes media,
right,
and then the event which gives you a place to sell your merch, and then rinse and repeat. I mean, that's basically the game that I know it as, that I understand it as, and I don't think it's any secret. It's just a matter of putting it together and building these guys' followings to where we can create volume. That's all. That the music game is just a game of volume, right? Purely. So if you can build the right strategy to gain more volume, then you'll rise to the top.
For sure.
Yeah. So that's kind of what, when I'm thinking from Acoustic Attack's like owner, or I don't even know what the fuck to title myself, right? Like I do Acoustic Attack.
You gotta tell me, because it's gonna go in the description.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just a sole
Soon
proprietor.
enough, CEO. I keep telling him, bro.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, soon enough.
I'm just really trying to focus on what is the life force of it, right? Because it cannot just, it has to be something that people can understand, that we can talk through it, and we can give them like a logical and emotional foundation.
Right.
So,
well, yeah, all in all, you're connecting people to what's going on here, right? Musically, the changes, besides what artists are doing on their own times. Now it's like Acoustic Attack already made a name for itself in the early 2000s, before social media became a thing.
Yeah.
Right. And so you inserted yourself into the YouTube platform.
yeah.
And I felt like you were able to come back with relative ease, with still a social following of people who already recognize the past videos that were put up. Right.
Yeah, that's why I'm, as a sole proprietor, right, and a small business owner, it's really like I'm not putting too much pressure on myself to keep a certain frequency, although I know that's the best strategy. Is it's purely a passion project that we're trying to grow a real revenue source. So I'm not gonna, put myself in a situation where I can't contribute to it anymore, so I let it come, right? I of course I put effort and assess it and make plans and goals, but I also let it do what it needs to do, and so to say, right? Like I'm not directly molding it, I'm just watering it, right? And just wherever the branch want to goes, it goes. And
I gotta disagree with you. I think you're directly molding it. I mean, if it wasn't for action, the previous actions, it wouldn't have evolved into what it is now.
That's true.
Right?
It's very true.
So it's, you got to give yourself some credit.
Yeah, I agree. I just think it's a platform that's built off so many different pieces that, I can say I agree, right? Obviously, there is a deep and big influence on what I think and how it grows, but I do my best to let all the other pieces,
like the artist.
Like I do my best to figure out how to let that piece kind of, let them decide how they want to make that piece, right? So I try not to be too rigid and be very flexible and open-minded, because man, working with 7 people, bro. Not 7 people, 7 artists. Could you imagine, like the amount of different personalities and so like it's just
you ever manage a stage for a concert?
Yeah, you can't try to control.
That's when the real artists come out. You're so needy today. You need what?
Yeah, so it's just it's cool to see an amazing synergy for such a big ambitious task like that. It was really refreshing, and everybody that we worked with, man, I had the best time with, and I really feel really connected to
sure.
So it's a fun process, and I respect, it inspires me. Like it really pushes me,
For sure.
Yeah, I'm really
So are you gonna take Acoustic Attack out there with you then?
So I'm curious to see what unfolds, because obviously I'm going to.
I mean, Anton already mentioned he doesn't want it.
Yeah, well, I'm trying. I am reaching out to a bunch of people that I know, and just starting to start my network. But I'm really uncharted territory over there, so
for sure,
I'm not giving it. It's hard for me to give a goal when I can't even understand the landscape, right? So I do want to do a small West Coast tour somehow, and I don't want to. It's still, this is one of those processes that's being built, so like I don't want to speak on it too much, because it's obviously a lot of different ideas coming here and there. It's not even anywhere near complete, but the broader goal is to have something like that, right? Like some kind of, the music niche is about what separates you from the rest, right? Yeah. So if we could figure out,
fucking came up with a great idea.
Yeah.
And I think you ever heard of the, maybe it's not my idea, maybe it's not great. It's a previous idea. The Around the World, where like they get different musicians from different places. Fucking shit.
I know what you're talking about. And then they cover like a Bob Marley song.
A Bob Marley song.
yeah.
Do that, man. Different artists, and I think Peter Cruz, formerly of Tribal Theory, does that with the drummer from LA, think his name's Nate.
Yeah.
And so he like produces stuff on his computer and he records himself on. I think he has a couple YouTube videos. See if you could pull up Pete Cruz.
It's I think the YouTube is People of the World or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we can't
Something
watch it though
people.
because we'll get kicked off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of potential.
No, Pete Cruz, not People of the World. Pete Cruz. Peter Cruz. Peter Cruz. I don't know what his YouTube page is. Hopefully, there's only one Peter Cruz making YouTube videos. There. You at the top.
Yeah, that's him. The top, right?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah. So I actually reached out to him too. I haven't had the chance to like really talk to him, but there's a lot of transition going on. But I do think he maybe.
Is that him?
I'm just curious to see if we could possibly work together or figure something out.
But anyways, yeah, he does that where he's the music. Yeah, do cool. Do maybe do Munga Sanga, just so we don't get any copyright shit. I wonder if this has drums in it too. And I think he's most of the he's all the vocals. He's the lead guitar, he's the bass and the guitar.
Nice.
Rhythm guitar.
Yeah.
And then he sends all that over to a homeboy in LA and he drums over it.
Nate?
Yeah, Nate. I can't remember. We've only messaged each other on social media.
Yeah.
So my apologies, Nate.
Yeah. No, cool ass cat though.
Yeah.
The YouTube channel though is not People. It's Playing for Change.
Paying for change.
Playing for Change.
Right.
It's just
Awesome channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really
some drummer.
I'm really excited just to see if anything is possible out there, because there's so many people like P who are just staying really active and just, like,
yeah,
it's just
and
a part of them,
He did a surprising move, man.
Yeah.
Left a band who has a good, a good following
Yeah.
and sort of wanted to pursue his own track and
Right.
try to figure out. I don't know.
Yeah, just like,
seems
just
like he just wants to find himself in music in his own.
You don't need to
right?
explain yourself to nobody, you just that's what you feel like, then that's what you feel like,
Yeah.
And like I do my best to follow as many, local musicians who are pursuing it on a serious level, and I just really respect the journey, and like that's what we're here for, bro. Like, I want to see people make it, so it's so available and accessible and easy now, so
Easy, simple.
yeah.
So I was saying, like, you don't have to go look for a recording studio, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, just do it all in your house. This guy has a pretty dope setup.
Yeah.
That room is actually where we recorded his podcast.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I don't think this guitar has drums either.
Yeah.
Shit, dude, maybe cooperator. But anyways, yeah, dude, it's it'll be cool to see you evolve it, out there. But it'll also be cool if Anton continues it here and sort of just like keeps it alive, right?
Yeah.
Because it seems like it'll disappear, it'll leave off island with you, and then that's sort of it.
It's a small world, bro.
Yeah, I know. But that's just what it feels like, right?
I told him too.
When you went on break with Acoustic Attack,
Yeah.
Acoustic Attack went on break, right?
Yeah. I told him too, like, if he still wants to do stuff, it'll still run through him, but I'll be like the guy on the ground, like trying to make it.
Like I said, man,
together.
like I feel the times will come and I'll push it and I'll make it work, and it's done well not forcing it.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna follow that philosophy and don't fix what's not broken, and just, so what's the rush, bro?
Yeah.
Like,
Same with the marijuana bill.
yeah.
What's the rush? Trying to tie in the conversation.
What's the rush, guys?
For real. I think he could still live even while he's still out there, because his crew's here.
Yeah.
Like the Brian Mooney and those guys that he usually films.
Dude,
they could work.
Maybe this will be a good way for like the. Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
No, that's cool.
Bro,
No, I mean that was all I was gonna say.
Then maybe this is a good time for like the raw stuff.
Yeah.
Acoustic Acoustic Attack raw, raw dog.
Real talk. If I were to do something on my own though, like I would like do a YouTube channel too, or I was even thinking just IGTV, but I would like that, like record.
We were also discussing the idea of like, you know, using Acoustic Attack as a place, sort of like a night market, right? So you can use it for vlogs too, or something of that sort. So if people start watching your vlogs, and then A Long Drive Home starts doing vlogs, and then, you know, BB Gun Brigade starts doing vlogs, and there's just all this constant cross promotion, right? So that's another concept we've been playing with. You know, I've been talking to Jace from A Long Drive Home with that. So we'll see, right? It's a digital world. I just have to get settled down.
It's also a Barbie world.
Not anymore, dude.
Not my world.
It's now a freaking LOL. Or what are those new toys, bro? Sorry, I got a daughter. So.
It's not Bratz anymore.
No, it's those tiny things now, bro. That cost like so much money for these tiny things.
Oh, dude, I'm not in you guys' realm yet.
Yeah. It's okay, man. You'll love it when it comes.
Yeah,
I'm sure I will. Yeah, man, and I think it's a big game changer. All right.
it pushed me to put music out because I figured like I didn't want my daughter to like we grow old and it's like whatever, dad, you're just like you
washed up.
I used to be in a band and Acoustic Attack. What do you mean, what's Acoustic Attack? Like,
Dad, you were on Acoustic
yeah.
Maybe.
My dad still thinks he used to play guitar. No proof though.
He never played for me. He only tuned the guitar and then put it down for a story. Boy, I used to. And then once it's done, it's like you go on with the story.
Yeah. I used to play this back in the day, but back in the day, let me tell you, it's cool, man. That's the cool thing about the digital world. It's gonna last forever.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we're watching videos from when you had regular ears, right? or good ears, and now you have, I mean.
They're not regular, bro. They're not
nutritious ears.
I'm just repeating what you said.
Dude, bro. I'm not ashamed to say that my ears look fucked up, dude. For real. These guys let it happen to me too. My first time getting cauliflower, they're like, dude, no, it's gonna get fat anyways. Just leave it.
Just let it go. And
it was already too late to when I finally realized that you're just supposed to keep draining it all the time. And then this is what it looks like, dude. It's freaking this big thing, dude.
Just like a knot.
Don't worry,
is it hard?
You get yours.
Is it? Hopefully not. I'm gonna drain. I'm Matt drain. I'm gonna start wearing a scrum cap to training.
You know what's funny, bro? Is I broke my ear. I did that for the whole time.
Really?
All the way up to Worlds, and then my ear was fine. It was healing well.
Yeah.
And all it takes is one person, bro. You know what I mean? Training with my homie in California, Justin McDermott, and you fucking pop, and it just fucking. So it just takes one, but fuck it, man. You want to do jiu-jitsu?
It comes with the sacrifice of your ears, dude.
Right.
Hey, bro, it's inevitable, man. Sorry.
It's cool, man. I'm glad we were able to tie in everything from the beginning of this.
Yeah.
And sort of let's cut out of here.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hungry here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Put anything out there. How can people follow you guys? You guys can go each.
Okay, so Acoustic Attack, basically just go to acousticattack.com and everything you need to know will be there. Whatever's currently going on is there, and we're on all social medias, right? Social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And then I'm starting to ramp up my production service again too, so you can just go to Bustamante.com and just check out my stuff, and if you want to work together, just hit me up, simple as that.
Sure.
And heading to Tucson, so we'll see what the West Coast or the borders got for me, and we'll grow from there.
Yeah, man, I don't have any domains yet. I'm trying to work on my domains, especially like for before summer. But just my name, just search me at Anton Rosario or Anton John Rosario. You'll find me. You know what's funny, dude? Like when we released my song onto the streams, like I was trying to search for it, there's another Anton John on iTunes with the song named Breed. That's not me, guys. Don't check that out.
No, check it out. Wow.
Wait, if he's from Guam, check it out. If not, never mind, dude.
Okay, maybe check him out there, spread some love, but It's weird, bro. It's
Don't
like
check him out. Whatever you do.
That's fucked up. Thanks, bro.
I won't even support myself, right? He has the same name as me. I would.
For all the Anton John.
It's like, dude, he's contradicting. You just told me not to check him out.
That means you gotta go with you gotta create your stage name now.
Yeah. I still want to go with Anton John.
Ranton.
A Train.
Well,
A plus.
A plus.
His rap name and his jiu-jitsu name.
Yeah. Well, it ties in the purpose of like some of my music too. Like I'm named after my mom and my dad, so I just want to keep it that.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, just search my name. It's good.
And you have any plans of putting anything up?
Man, I was initially saying that the end of the year was going to be an EP release, but like new strategy, like I'm going to record like entirely like in an EP, but I want to do like single releases.
Okay.
So guaranteed this year would be the full production of Home, and then another single followed by. I'm trying to really like aim for October, especially since Joe Guan put out this it's weird, dude. He put out this post saying like if everybody released a song on this particular date, and it's so funny. I told Ryan the date that he chose, October 4th, is actually the date of my girlfriend's birthday. So I already like that's
gonna happen for me.
Yeah, that's the goal. Just do that. October 4th. That's probably like the date that I'm looking at.
Nice.
Like officially releasing Home.
That'd be cool.
Full production.
That'd be cool. You know?
Yeah. We were talking about that whole thing. He goes, "What do you think of this?" I was like, "Bro, it's fucking brilliant."
Yeah.
I don't want to be the one to like tell people about it. I mean, because I haven't played music in years. You know? And but I think it's awesome. It's just you'll flood the digital stream of music. Like, whoa, 35 artists put music out. Yes.
On this particular day, all from the same place.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it, bro. So
you'll fuck up the algorithm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious. So I hope, see what happens, and, hope for the best, promote it if you can, and see what happens.
Yeah, dude. Look forward to more Acoustic Attack stuff. Especially looking forward to more fucking Anton Rosario.
Yeah.
Anton John.
Oh, shit. Anton John songs. For real, bro. No, honestly, dude, I'll keep saying it. I'll keep telling people, you're a tremendous songwriter, dude.
Thank you.
I think you just need to keep putting it out more.
That's the goal, especially like this year. It just keep going off of that momentum and just keep dropping songs.
Right. So
he's doing it.
Hell yeah. Thank you guys, dude. Hey, dude. Good luck out there in
Thanks, man.
in Tucson.
Thank you.
That's my
stomping grounds.
The stomping grounds. Yeah, dude. 5 years there, and like I told you earlier, I hated it when I went there, but it came to be a place that I absolutely love and cherish.
I'm going there with a completely open mind and completely optimistic. So
yeah, and they're very liberal out there too. Yeah. So it's not like the rest of Arizona where everyone's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I just love rediscovering, like restarting, like going to a new country and just kind of starting from zero, right? Like that's the rhythm of life, right? You do something, you get good at it. You do something, you get good at it. You do something, you get familiar, right? So I believe you have to intentionally put yourself in those situations. So I'm kind of taking that, in mind with me as I move. So just keep an open mind and look for the good in it. So
that's good. Yeah. It's like healthy way of going about it.
Oh yeah. And hopefully when you come back, my jiu-jitsu journey is further along. Hopefully. Yeah. I've really told myself I'm gonna dedicate myself to it.
Yeah.
This year and see where it goes.
You're progressing fast, dude. Like
Thank you, bro.
I feel like having that.
Don't put too much pressure on yourself, bro.
Rolling with this guy, bro. Though it's like it's very helpful. I mean, just because I feel like both of you guys actually, dude. It's kind of how you guys are like an aid. It's like a hearing aid in the back. It's like no, not that hand. It's like. Both of you guys have done that.
I'm
to me,
too tired.
Remember that one time I was like, you're like, okay, dude, you got to do it like this. I was like, hold on, bro. I think I need to fucking throw up.
For real. I just like to move, bro. I really like flowing. Like I like how momentum shifts.
Yeah.
Like getting past that actual like headbutting fight. Where it's more of like how do you continue that momentum? Like okay, I fell down, you swept me, but then re-angle and then sweep back and then just keep going. I don't know. I'm just not.
I don't know
I'm
how
not
to
trying to kill people who don't do it. Like all
I
the
just
time,
don't know
you
how to do it or understand it, and I'm just glad you guys have been patient with me. You know, the times that I have like shared the mat with you is like, yeah, figuring it out, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's
Man, dude,
awesome just to.
that meant sorry to cut you off, but like that thing that you've mentioned before, like I take that with like all three of the trifecta: music, jiu-jitsu, and media is like high tide rises all, you know. And it's like, dude, the only way I could get better is if I make you get better. If you can whip my ass, that means I gotta get better to freaking, you know.
Yeah, that whole sharing aspect, dude, it's crazy. Anyways,
Shoot.
thank you guys, dude, and thank you everybody.
Shubu, thank you, Master
Yeah,
Random.
thanks,
Yeah,
dude.
of course.
This
Of course,
experience was
dude.
cool. It's pretty fun, dude. Gotta come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, anytime you want, just let me know, dude.
Solid.
And especially when you come back, dude. You know, let's
How about a stateside podcast?
yeah, man. I travel out there every once in a while. We can make it work.
Yeah.
I'll be out there. I'll be out in the States for a couple of weeks this month, and I got some podcasts lined up out there.
Sweet.
Oh yeah.
Sweet.
So crossing my fingers they all work out. But yeah, dude. Anytime you guys want, you let me know. You'll be here. I'll be
Yeah,
here,
man. We'll keep in touch though for sure, dude.
Yeah.
Even to jam.
I'll see you at the gym too. So.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, your hand gets better.
Yeah.
That thing's
Fucking
ugly,
man, it
bro.
is.
Dude, it looked like it was deep, dude.
Dude, it was pretty deep. It was like a flap.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's it because it cut down.
It's all meat,
so it like
bro.
scooped the meat.
Ooh,
Because you know how the
the
cup, you know, it was like this cup, and you know this part went in. It went,
Oh.
Yeah.
Filleting the black seal.
No, I was washing the cup.
Perfect time to chime in.
That's why he doesn't talk much.
Preparing the perfect fucking quip.
Way to close
I
it.
only come in when it's important.
But thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dude, thank you, boo.
Thank
Thank you, Master Random.
and thank you everybody for listening to another episode of the podcast. Ryan Bustamante and Anton John Rosario
Rebranding.
rebranding
Yeah.
on the podcast. And until next time, as always, Maddie B, he loves you. Tell them how much you love them, Maddie.
A lot.
A lot. And I love you. And until next time, peace out. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. What is your trifecta, and how do you make your trifecta work for you? Maybe that's the leaving message that I'll leave with you guys on this episode of the podcast. I like to give a special shout out to our sponsors at Mortuary. They're big enough to serve and small enough to care. Stroguam. Go download the Stroguam app today. Use the code word random19 and get $10 off your next ride. Don't forget to support us on Patreon. Rate us on the iTunes. Why do I keep saying iTunes? The Apple Podcast app. And when you do, Maddie B will go ahead and read it and put it on the show. And these ratings and reviews really help. So thank you for that. Thank you for being dope. Thank you for being the baddest.